for the World Championships. Hence why the sleeve says World Championships on it, even though I didn't go. But he sent us a bunch of stuff, part of our budget while he's there and in Japan and stuff, because he's awesome. But yeah, this hoodie is actually really nice, really cute. It also has like little fun little Hawaiian pattern down here. I like a nice simple hoodie too.
Is that it? Damn. Is this it? Nope. Is that it? Yes. What do I even have? Why is it doing that again? I'm trying to fix. Trying to fix something. Yes, they're both me.
Wait, guys, we got someone that added me on League just to talk shit. Let's see what they say.
Oh
Let's
boy,
go.
that's my favorite.
We're live. We're live. By the way, just in case they say something you shouldn't say, we're live.
That's okay. I have a screen grab ready.
Oh please, I'm so.
In case they just hit you with the hard R, don't say.
It's the classic diamond.
Not like I'd
Emerald
expect you
floor
to
player.
repeat what they said out loud, but just in case.
Never give up on your hopes and dreams, guys. Anyways, hi
Really?
guys. Welcome back to the Saver Slave podcast.
It's us.
We say bad words, but not those ones.
God, I hope not.
I love how you see your monitor is just a whole bunch of pictures of examples.
Bam. Bam. Bam.
They didn't say anything, so they weren't paying attention, so I just unfriended them. If they had it again, that's true dedication.
Bam.
Honestly, if they're that dedicated to being a hater, let them.
I do.
Rude.
For 'em. I remember there was a time where I had a guy that was such a hater. He added me on an account just to talk shit. Got banned on that account after the game because of the shit he
I
said. And then added me on a
remember
different account just to continue talking shit. Like, made a brand new level 1 account just to do it. And I was like, you know what? Fair enough. Honestly, can't even be mad at that point.
Respect the hustle.
Yeah,
Gotta respect the
honestly.
hustle, man. My man was out here grinding. Oh, but what can you do? League's a beautiful game.
I've actually been watching a bit of League stuff because my goat Peck and Wolf started reappearing in my YouTube recommended. And it's like a fun game to watch. Not to play. I don't want to play that game. Never again am I touching that game. But like, it's fun to watch people who are good at it.
I mean, Harems are fun. Only Harems, really.
Oh no.
Like, it's like barely
Oh,
League.
I mean, Arena also is fun.
That's what
I wanna try Swarm.
Well,
It seems like
about
a
that.
fun thing to do.
About
Like
that.
Oh, is it already gone?
Yeah. The event
That's
just ended. It was here for like
crazy.
2 months.
It's not done yet.
It
Actually,
ended yesterday. Or today,
it
rather.
it was on when I was playing it earlier today.
Oh, maybe it still exists, but
I don't know if that picked up, but probably did.
pretty sure it's gone now.
It's fine. You'll discover
that's a-
what
that's
that
a
noise
crazy thing
was
for them-
later.
Why would they do things like that? And they just get rid of them. Just leave
They
it
did
in
that
the
with-
game.
What a good,
They
what good games.
Yeah.
We live in a great world. Oh, hi everybody. Like John said, welcome. We're live. It's the Saver Slay Anime Affray podcast. Week 3. We've watched episode 5. It's not past 5. No more than 5. Do not spoil past 5. Do not talk about anything that exists in the peripheral after 5. It is going to be harsh language and spoilers abound, just as John said. How you guys?
Doing alright.
I'm good.
I'm here
We got
straight
some
from the
new fresh
movies.
merch. straight from Honolulu from my
I'm-
buddy
oh boy.
Austin.
I'm excited to hear your thoughts on that movie.
So I saw Deadpool and Wolverine.
I need to watch it, dude.
Very good, very good. I liked it a lot. Probably my favorite Deadpool movie. I I don't think it beats Logan, but that's not any movie's fault.
What was the
It
difference here?
sure does want to remind you about it though.
Yeah.
Couple
yeah,
of
it
times.
does.
It's a Deadpool movie. It's very good. There's a lot of things that are guilty pleasures in this movie for me, so just certain things come up a lot. Gambit's in this movie. Well, there you go. Good enough for
Ooh,
me.
I'm about
Who?
to make a name for myself.
My daddy shot me straight out of his dick. Right into my mama's womb. That movie's fantastic. There's so many good bits in it. Lots of meta things as you expect. Yeah, I don't have too much to particularly say. It's just a good movie. I haven't seen like a Marvel movie. I legitimately think since Endgame. I'm trying to think what, if anything, I would have seen after Endgame. Nothing in like the past 2 years for sure.
Really only seen the-
I have somehow. I happened to watch the second Captain Marvel movie. I have never
Seen the first one. Yeah, I remember you telling me
Oh,
this.
was the second one? That's the Marvels, right? Is the second
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, Marvel. This is the one with Binary and Cody, it's America. No, Kamala Khan. Thank you.
Yep.
I appreciate you.
America's and Doctor Strange.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen Doctor Strange too. I thought the movie's fun. I think its special effects look fucking rad. I think it's some of my favorite like visuals in some of the Marvel movies.
Yeah, I did not see the second one.
It's entirely good if you like Sam Raimi.
Yeah. So I hear.
And the big thing with like most post Endgame stuff is that it's all fucking TV shows, and I don't want to watch those.
I'll be honest. They played the trailer for I don't actually know if it's called Captain America, because it's
Oh, yeah. Captain America.
but that actually doesn't look too bad. Does that mean I'm gonna go see it? Probably not. I found out because trailers that they're making a Mufasa movie
Oh yeah, that's right.
in the style of like the live action Lion King one.
don't
It actually doesn't look that bad. But also,
Not
like, do
the
I
live action
do I need that?
looks bad.
No, it did.
And
No.
Poppy.
It's just
was-
there's no reason
Yeah.
to watch it.
It's an interesting choice. I'm trying to think
It
if there's
doesn't look as good as the original that came out in forever ago.
I'm trying to think if there was anything else of note in those trailers. They showed off a movie called The Crow that all I could think about upon watching it was the video game The
My
Quiet
name
Man.
is spelled with a Q.
Well, that too. But
It's
the
a,
video
it's
game.
a remake of
Oh, is it?
the '90s. It's a remake of the movie that Brandon Lee died on.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Like the comic book.
I could tell it was definitely comic book something from the way it was visually presented to me. I was like, but I don't know what the fuck that is. Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't think there was any. There might have been like one other thing I was interested in. Oh, there's like an SNL movie coming out, and that like
I did hear about that.
that like historically might be a neat thing, but also like, you know, I don't have lots of time for things like that. Instead, I do stuff like finish reading Black Clover.
Based.
My rounds. Yay, thank you.
As Michael and Mason know, I really like Black Clover. I think it's great.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna go too much into stuff here because everybody who cares, I've already talked their ears off. Unless John wants to hear things about Black Clover.
No, I'm going with Wanda Wistoria.
Okay.
Or Mashal.
I'm trying to think other things besides our weekly roundup. or weekly roundup exists. Shonen Jump had a magazine this week. JJK is 5 chapters from the ending. Hey guys, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. It's 5 chapters from not having an ending. That's so crazy for it to do that.
Right?
Urame and Gambler Boy just still fighting.
Yep.
God. And they might always be. We'll
Might be
never
forever.
know.
This truly was our Jujutsu Kaisen.
But
So you think like next episode we get like a handshake between the two of them and they just call a draw on that fight so we can have 4 episodes of an actual 4 chapters of an actual ending?
No,
Because that's the only way
again.
we get an actual ending.
I think 2 minimum, 3 most likely chapters of fight, and then 2 chapters. So here was the
of
funny.
attempting to fix everything else that's happening.
Here was the funny thing. I was talking about this with a friend of mine who's in chat, and he was like, "Do you think like the last chapter is gonna be longer?" And I went, "God, I hope so." Maybe that's why there's like an extra week built into our time frame. Is that maybe the last chapter he will have cooked the last chapter so long that things
only
get
hope.
done.
There are more than 9 pages.
It would be really funny if the last 5 chapters are all 9 pages.
We just get absolutely nothing for this last set of
Mason's
chapters.
excited. One Piece spoiler inbound. Mason thinks we're getting out of Egghead. I think we still have another chapter in Egghead probably. Because I don't.
I don't
Probably.
have chapters recapping Egghead, but I think that they're good. I think they're leaving.
Well, so what I said, the thing that makes me think we're still in Egghead is that one of the Gorosei is still there. With the robot. That's my only hesitation on that.
My Hero Academia ended.
It sure did.
Yeah, it ended up
talked about
like
it last
a
week
month
a little
ago.
bit.
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
God, it's been that long already. God, I'm old.
Yeah.
The Pokemon World Championship ended this
Yeah,
past weekend.
that
and
is
started.
something that happened.
I watched all of that, and then I even went to a local because I caved under peer pressure
Let's
and
go.
finished third. But like,
I'd go.
I'm glad I never have to use restricted for another 4 months, which is great.
Sorry. Message in chat got me. Fuck.
You know what?
Yeah.
At least I'm pretty sure Winner of Worlds wasn't using an Incineroar. So you know what?
No, Incineroar didn't even make top like 8. I don't think. That's
That's
something crazy. Like Incin, there was like
crazy.
1 Incin and 1 Rillaboom in top 8. It was insane.
Well, yeah, that's because every team either had
A lot of
Calyrex
teams had
Ghost
different
Rider and
adaptations.
Calyrex Ice Rider.
Actually, Ghost Rider wasn't the top note either in top 8. It was a lot of Ice Rider, a couple Zamazentas, I forget what other ones were in there, but Miraidon was the big one that really was like the dominant
Yeah,
one.
it's almost like Electric
Obviously,
Train is a
that was the one
crazy
world as
thing
well.
to be able to set up.
It's almost like Electric Train, Electro Drift at 130 base power with plus special attack at 135 base special attack. It's really stupid, but
Yeah, it's crazy.
Which choice
No,
specs
it's
in the-
also
in the
even
sun.
crazier when you have Funny Ice Horse that upon getting a kill
But-
gets the next kill for free because it's doing more damage because it needs
but
it.
you know. We watched pretty much all of it on seniors. Actually, was the most important for us because someone in our local team, Luke, finished second in the world this year at seniors, and he's in our
Yeah.
local scene, and we knew him personally. He actually won a regional we went to this year and a different one earlier on. But shout out to Luke. He was literally a 90% move missing away from probably being the senior world champion this year, which is just sad. But made some absolutely cracked plays, and it was really fun to watch. Like even the juniors like are insane. Where Kevin Hahn just has plot armor. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, no, that meant that
Thank
was
God he's no
crazy
longer a
watching.
junior, so someone else can win something for once. But yeah, my buddy Austin played. He went 4-4, which is really cool for him. Sent some stuff back our way because he's in Japan right now, like this hoodie, which is really cute. And my little Azumarill plushie, which is also very cute. It has a little flower in its head. Not really hair, it's just head. But yeah, that's been fun. And then I've been playing a little bit of Run and Bun here, trying to cook some fights and been procrastinating on it, as I have to go to work this week, so I probably have to cook that tonight then. That's been up for me though. What about you guys?
So I have finished a couple of shows. I finished Young Justice. I watched.
If you
I
weren't
just
done
kind
with
of.
that yet by last time, you were
Yeah,
like
no.
close
I
to
finished
it.
I finished it this weekend. That show's incredible. It's legitimately like peak superhero fiction, in my opinion. It is one of the best shows at showing how grief and loss affects people. It's very good. Cody and I also just finished season 1 of Ted Lasso, also a fantastic show. It's impossible not to like, not to dislike. Words are hard. English is a hard language to learn.
It's impossible to dislike.
It's impossible to dislike Ted Lasso. Thank you.
You're welcome.
He's just a good man. You love every single character in that show. They're all wonderful. Aside from that, door dashing. That's been interesting. And been grinding out TFT. I've almost climbed back up to plat now, so I'm getting it. That's about all I've really been doing. How about you, Michael?
I've been up to my usual shit. My games that I played too much of. My Destiny 2, my Zenless Zone 2. I actually played not much Destiny 2 this week. Because the raid group hasn't been fully around, so we haven't had like any reason to do that. I played through like the second half or whatever was left of the Borderlands 3 DLC I was going through, Bounty of Blood. It's a fun DLC. It's a good time. I understand why people probably aren't the biggest fans of it, because it's very not Borderlands feeling. It feels like a goofy Western, kind of like again, the narrator is the fucking Bastion narrator, just talking smack about everything that's happened. He doesn't like specifically like talk about you, but like it's very similar in tone to the way the Bastion guy talks about the world that's happening. That's how they build that world, is that it's like you have a narrator saying shit, and your character just says some nonsense. Because the idea is that the narrator's like telling your whole story as a like thing that happened in the past. The DLC just kind of just ends, but I assume that's probably most Borderlands DLCs. That's kind of how they've all been built up. Because like Love and Tentacles, you literally just are doing stuff, all of a sudden Cthulhu. I mean, Cthulhu's kind of there the whole time, but you're just kind of existing, and all of a sudden you get to fight Cthulhu. And the first DLC, you're just kind of existing, all of a sudden it's over. I don't remember much about Handsome Jackpot. But outside of that, I got bored one day and went to restart a game, start a new file in Bugsnax, because peak video game. And then I learned that game gets really mad when you sequence break. Silly things occur very fast when you start sequence breaking in that game. Because I bored one day forever ago. It was like 4 years ago when I first got the game. 3 years ago, because whenever it came out on Steam. I learned the any percent route for that game. And that essentially turns what should be a like hour and a half to 2 hour game into 20 minutes, with 10 of those being like cutscenes and like parts you can't really skip because it's just some amount of gameplay. You kind of just start the game, skip into the last 2 areas, skip into the final segment of the game, and then you're done. And funny things that happen here is that first skip puts you in a place where the game assumes you've unlocked a bunch of characters and like done certain events. So like I did that. I was like, I want to see what happens if I do these things. So I do that, and then I went back to like the main town, and I'm like, oh, that's 4 character quests I haven't done yet that are automatically filled in. That's strange.
That's not correct.
But it was also like why were just those set? Why weren't other characters not set currently? And then you skip to the next area, which gives you all of the trap tools. Because by that point, you're expected to have had literally everything done, minus 1 character. Which still doesn't then fill out all the other side characters for some reason, which is still a weird thing that it does. Because there's like a character who gives you a tool to like inject the snacks into certain body parts. You don't have that character auto-unlocked yet, because you haven't gotten to that character's location on the map. So the game doesn't know what to do, so it just gets confused. But that was funny, breaking that game and finding other stuff. And earlier today, I got home, and I went on Steam, and I saw that I was added into the for the last day of it running, apparently, or like the last day and a half, the closed beta for Spectre Divide, which is the tack shooter by it's one of the
Shroud?
I think it's Shroud. Yeah, it's his group.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
The idea is that it's a 6v6 tack shooter, but it's actually a 3v3.
Yeah.
Each person controls two characters.
Oh.
And with the big thing, it's outside of the two character thing. It's supposed to be kind of like a CS kind of game with like that kind of tactical shooter. The other big thing being, if you're aiming down sights, you have 100% accuracy even while moving. Maybe it's because I don't know the maps yet. I don't like the way this game feels. At least the map I was on felt absolutely giant for the fact you can only control 3 characters at a time. It just feels really weird.
Like janky.
Yeah, it's also just the fact that I was probably playing with people who've been playing for a week, because this beta's been active since the 13th. So, I don't know. Maybe when we get the full release, it'll be better. It'd feel better. I don't know. Maybe it's also because I was just playing with random people. Maybe it's because I got killed by an op 3 times. But that just feels bad in every tack shooter, because snipers are annoying. But yeah, I read like a chapter of One Punch Man. Because the issue is that I can't read it on my phone, because I don't want to read my phone sideways.
Yeah.
But that's what I've done.
So I don't mean to immediately dour podcast, but 3 hours ago, Mal posted news. The voice actor Atsuko Tanaka has passed away. So her most popular role and most well-known role is the main character from Ghost in the Shell. Most recently, of a role that is pretty relevant, I think she did the teacher in The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic. And she's Flame in Frieren. So those are like 2 of the most recent roles. Other stuff, she did Conan in Shippuden. She did Bayonetta in the Bayonetta movie. She is Lisa from JoJo. So yeah, unfortunate. Very sad to hear. Figured I would share it since we are in the middle of an anime podcast. And it is a
appropriate,
largely important person in the industry.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
07.
But ladies and gentlemen, there is no good segue out of this, so we're just gonna do it anyway.
I got you, Sean. Sean,
no,
I got you.
no, I'm not.
Did you guys hear
no.
Civ 7 got announced for February
okay.
11th next year?
Okay.
No, I
we'll see.
didn't, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Borderlands 4 also
other
got announced.
other segue, other thing we could talk about is because it popped up in my news feed. We are apparently getting Hunter x Hunter back in October.
I did hear that.
In weekly Shonen Jump. Whether or not it is going to be weekly, doubtful. But it's like officially, it's like in October. It's supposed to officially be coming back to the magazine. Enough other things have left that it will be fine, I guess, for it to exist inside the magazine.
yeah, because by that point we're going to have at least, because we haven't gotten a replacement for Hiroaka.
And we're gonna have JJK.
We're gonna have
open.
JJK gone, and I imagine we're losing something else back.
I imagine something's going to get axed by that point in time.
Yokai Bustu Murakami, you had a good run for 12 chapters.
I get the feeling it won't be that.
I don't know.
I think Necromance might get cut because things that are happening in that manga make me think it's not going to be running much longer.
Is it like kind of pushing towards an end right now?
Its main character just died.
Spoilers!
No!
See, I imagine it's called Kyokuto Necromance. I imagine there's like solutions to this.
I don't know what the
One might assume
they claim
necromancy.
they claim the main character character died. I have no way to prove or disprove this sentiment.
Again,
and hey,
also,
I
there might
think
be a
that's-
chance Elusive Samurai's near an ending. I don't know.
I don't know
where
I don't know where that manga is. I couldn't tell you.
What's Elusive
not
Sat
yet.
right now?
Yeah, I've never heard of it. Weird.
I'd be hyped if Super Psychic Policeman Shoujo is so we can get a good comedy manga in its place.
That's rude.
What do you mean?
but
We
not
have Showa Shoten. It's just not a weekly.
No, but that's not in Jump.
Yeah,
That's
because
in
if it was in Jump, it would be the top manga every
or
time it is.
it's in Jump. It's in another. It's in Jump something.
Yeah.
Or I have no idea what magazine it's technically in.
But
Probably Ultra Jump.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a PR ranking. We have a PR ranking this week.
I don't realize just how big. I don't realize what some of my numbers look like.
Mason,
for,
you're
the
my
movements.
hero.
It's crazy.
And I was not expecting this from you.
Fair.
Michael, I want you to know that Wistoria last week went up 3, and this week has gone down 3. And I laughed at that very funny, because it's just going doo-doo-doo-doo.
I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna put it up to 3 again next week. We're just gonna
And in a
keep
similar
bouncing.
fashion, Shoshimin has gone down 3 ranks every week so far,
Yeah,
which
it
is
has
really
happened.
funny.
Some of those other shows have just been really good.
Yeah, we'll get into the nitty gritty. I think I am excited to talk about 2 things this week, because I have to discuss 2 things this week. But let's get ourselves situated, and by that I mean I'm grabbing all the things we need to do this next segment of the podcast. That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you want me to start talking about it while you're grabbing segments?
Yeah, I have to grab the topic. I just have to copy the title of the show so that, yeah, go ahead, John, talk about Nokotan.
So, Nokotan this week. I actually really like this episode, because it had a couple really funny bits for me, at least. It opens up with Koshitan opening up her locker to a supposed love letter. It's got a little heart on it and everything, and they go on this big rant about it where Nokotan talks about how she has to run away from things too. Sometimes, where like she's just running away from like the U.S. Marines basically trying to kill her.
Yeah, the Hunter Association.
Yeah.
And then also she's like, "Wait, why are you here? Aren't you usually late?" And she's like, "No, I rolled out of bed this morning early." We're like, "How far did you roll?" And it shows her rolling down the street.
Chef Boyardee dad.
Like, this far. Turns out it's not a love letter. It's actually some delinquents calling her out like, "Hey, we're gonna beat you up and be the king delinquent." So after a brief fight scene, Nokotan's like, "Here, I got you. Here's a weapon," and throws this antler at her. She's like, "Aha! What the fuck am I supposed to do with this?" Throws it on the roof. Just fucking detonates a bomb that blows up the entire gymnasium.
Yeah, it's in the news.
Made the news.
Nobody died. No injuries.
And then Koshi decides, I need to see what Nokotan does. Like, is she homeless? What's going on and stuff. So she sees her going to the zoo where she actually apparently works in the deer exhibit and explains to people, yes, you can feed us deer crackers. Where she has someone pay her for deer crackers, to which she just noms them immediately from her hand and goes through the gate. As everyone just goes, the deer are so amazing. Thank God for the deer. They're the greatest. But then the episode closes on my favorite bit, which is Nekuyama to Neko, who is trying to sneak in on the deer club, and basically just gets the usual Nokotan harassment treatment, where she just doesn't know what to do and just keeps getting blown through tangents. But realizes she has a talent for growing antlers for Nokotan somehow through sheer force of will. And then eventually goes, you know what? Deer Club is amazing. I love Deer Club. And she has like Nokotan's antlers walking home and goes, wait a minute, I didn't find out anything I needed to know. Damn it! But I don't know what it was about the bit where Nokotan has a little button and she like has like the deer cracker bucket that she dumped on someone else, and she pushes the button and goes click, ding, and just fucking right on her head. I don't know why, if it was just because it was so late in the day or what it was, but I was watching this last night and I was literally like, I just rewinded that bit like 3 times because it was funny just watching click, dunk. But
I really
thought this episode was really
appreciate.
good for Nokotan.
I really appreciate that not only do we get the sound effect from Nokotan pulling her antlers off, it plays the same one when she puts them on Nekoyama, and I think that's hilarious for no goddamn reason. I fucking lose my mind at the sound effect playing again when she reattaches the antlers. I think this episode's really good.
Also, how she
I
like
did
has
really
like, the
enjoy this
crackers, and
episode.
she
It was
goes,
a great
"Here,
episode of Nokotan."
respond to the crackers," and then she's like, "I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this." She's like, "You disappoint me. Are you fucking kidding me?" Hey, you show her how it's done, and just jumps right on her arm.
For me, I felt like this was a return to where episode 1 was. Like this is, and I think that's the character cooldown has happened. Everybody is here, and now we can just let Nokotan do the bits. Let her run all the bits. And I fucking adored this episode. I laughed my ass off for a large majority of it. I really liked it. That's the way that is. It's just there are other things still above it.
And for me, this episode is really good. It's the issue with it is that we've had 3 episodes that I didn't think were very good. So it's hard for me to be like, we had a good episode. Let's bump this thing up real fast. It has to keep this kind of steamroll. We can't just have every 4 episodes we get something good and then 3 episodes not good.
Yeah,
so
I had Nokotan roughly middle.
This episode, it raised it in my brain a little bit, but it's not shooting up yet.
I had it in the middle of the pack, and largely it is still kind of with some of the other shows there, but just because of how stellar the week was for it, I bumped it a little higher for me personally.
Sure. Mason, what'd you think?
I did really enjoy it, but I have the same issue that Michael has, where it's 3 episodes that I didn't particularly care for, and now I'm like hesitant on bumping it up. Plus, I liked everything else this week. Like, Suicide Squad, particularly because that was going to be my bottom pick. I thought it did have a solid episode this week, which I know we will talk about. Just enough to raise it above Nokotan for me.
No, that's fine. The show needs to do more.
Yeah,
Definitely for
Yeah,
sure.
I want if it can keep this running, it's absolutely going to
But
start
definitely
going.
not. Definitely, like I said, the best episode is episode 1, but it needs to do like more to keep pace with. Because honestly, the season just has a lot of decent, like, good to great shows. I'd say, like, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like, there's nothing that right now that I'm like, oh god, I gotta get this off the podcast because I hate it. Right? Like, even though Suicide Squad is at the bottom for basically all of us, it's still a show where I'm like, I'm still kind of like invested in what happens. But we'll get to.
We'll get to when we get to Suicide. I do really love these characters. I think they're all wonderful.
But
Of our main 5 or main 6, whatever, however many.
yeah, Nokotan's funny. I hope it keeps this return to form because this episode had me fucking losing my shit.
Yeah, this episode's great.
Oh my god, I was crying.
With that,
It's gonna be a fun podcast come next week. I think is what it's gonna be.
yeah, we're gonna start getting. We're gonna start.
Gritty.
Yeah,
We're gonna start breaking hearts.
yeah, for some people, for sure. So next up, let's go right into. Let's go into Shoshimin.
So Shoshimin this week, we start off the episode where Kobato runs into Osunai and sees that she's crying, and she runs off, and then delivers some surveys to the newspaper club where Kengo goes, "Hey, I need to pick your brain a minute. We got a problem." And the problem is that when everyone got into the room, they were promised that there were these like desserts that were filled with something. Normally it's jam, but their club president told them that there was one of them that had mustard, and whoever got the mustard one was supposed to write this article about this bakery that they got the desserts from. But everyone ate one, and there was no mustard in any of them. But then they find out that it wasn't actually mustard, it was hot sauce. And it's this whole mystery of, well, if no one got it, who's lying? And then you, through reasoning it all out, Kobato decides that no, that is the case. No one got it. It was an extra pastry, and then it comes into determining who was it that took the extra pastry, which we then discover was Osunai at the beginning of the episode, and that's why she was crying, because this hot sauce is really hot. I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was just fun. I thought it was a nice self-contained little story, and it was nice to have the aha moment. Like,
Now the moment we had the
through.
aha moment, I mean, Mason, it was such a good moment. The Mason go, I hear Mason start laughing. I'm like, I think he got it, and in my brain I was like, I think I have a guess. And then we talked about it for a second. We were like, yeah, it's absolutely that.
him.
It's nice. It's such a
was really
nice little
cool.
mystery. The show's not trying to do crazy. Again, I think it's weird that we had like a 2-episode arc for the last one, and here we just had a nice little mystery here.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I mean,
it was
I
kind
don't
of a
think the show's going
3-episode
anywhere.
build up. It was kind of a 3-episode build up.
Oh yeah, because we end the one with her bike getting stolen. Yeah.
I mean, I will say, I liked this episode. I thought it was a very good self-contained mystery. I enjoyed it. It was a good time. I just don't particularly feel like this show does anything incredibly special. So that is why it's in that lower mid pool for me. Because, like, I like it. I enjoy it. It's fine. It's just not up there for me with the other stuff. And I don't know what this show has to do that. It would have to, like, it would have to have a crazy, insane episode for me to really get on it for me.
Some like hyper complex mystery. It'd be crazy.
Like, I just don't know for me if this show has anything in it to elevate it besides what it's been doing already. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I like the show. Like, it's just that I like other shows more for this one in particular.
Yeah, but what if OpenEye committed murder?
Yeah, maybe
Then
that might do it.
But that'd be anything but ordinary, which again is like my only issue is the main issue I have with the show still is like the title just doesn't make sense anymore because now they're just objectively not trying to be ordinary anymore. He's just going back to how he was, which again is fine.
Well,
But
I think the idea is that
with the whole like the bits basically for me.
I think the whole idea with the being ordinary though is that him doing that is his ordinary. It's not weird for him to be really good at solving mysteries. It was just weird that he would go out of his way and be like, actually, into random like arguments people were having. But here he's being asked to join in these. So like, I think it's more just he's good at solving mystery. That's
Sure,
his thing.
That's fine. He
He has ADHD. He's good at solving.
Don't we all? But
To be fair, it's not Shoshimin being ordinary. It's Shoshimin how to become
ordinary.
We haven't hit the climax of the show
But
where
he's
you
not
should ideally
trying
learn.
to be anymore. is my
Again,
only thing with it.
see, I think it'd be crazy if the show's final arc is open. I gets like framed for murder, and he needs
Look,
to solve that. I don't think it's gonna
can't
happen.
wait.
That's
I-
bonkers.
Yeah, that would be crazy, Michael. That would be crazy if that happened. You're not wrong.
Again, it's
if she got framed for literal murder, I
again,
too would be a little
we
more
have a
invested.
character who is said to be someone who used to be like a delinquent, and we have a detective. That's all I'm saying. That's where my brain goes to the conclusion of this kind of story.
If that statement was true last week.
Again, she's a
Committed
wolf in the
murder.
opening.
Sure.
I would have been excited.
Again, I'm more likely to subscribe to the fact that she is actually a literal wolf in
And he
human
is
clothes
actually a fox.
A sheep in human clothing.
than that she is a delinquent. I somehow buy into the metaphor being real than what I think is just a lie to win over his buddy.
because his line is also that she would rip someone's throat out, which is a very thing that a wolf would do.
Yeah.
Not what a person would do.
That's
what
very
a wolf
much what a
would
wolf
do.
would do, isn't it?
I would-
she's
I
a
would know,
furry,
yes.
actually.
No,
Yeah, I'm just enjoying it. I'm having a good time
that's fine.
every episode. It is the
It's-
greatest
it's
thing
a
ever.
good show.
I don't know. I
It's a
still
nice
think
vibe.
its cinematography's neat.
Yes,
I think a lot of stuff they do is really neat.
I give it that for sure. It is probably the most interesting thing about it. And this episode was very contained. This episode had very few like large jarring cutaway shots. Everything was very self-contained in the setting. I think that's part of what helps sell the mystery so well is that like this mystery also really requires you to visualize what they're talking about. So you can't get a little funky with like the cutaways because what they're cutting to is actually really important. This is like the first one where I don't really think our main character has like those insert cuts. Like he doesn't ever really be like, okay, now I am here to explain because he's not
He did it, like,
explaining.
twice, I think, but
This one he doesn't really explain it. Actually, he just solves the
he's
mystery
just trying
himself.
To solve it, yeah.
And then
yeah,
laughs.
and then laughs. Yeah, because it's funny. Kick W.
He laughed. But
What is that a reference to? And then he laughed. Oh, that's One Piece.
It's
Yeah,
One
that's,
Piece.
that's the reference.
I was like it's a One Piece thing. I was trying to remember who in One Piece it was.
His,
and then
his arms are
brain
his
brain
arms
did
are,
the connection.
his arms are
Everyone
large
laughs
and
at One
open,
Piece.
and he's laughing.
His hands are open.
His hands are open and large, and he's laughing.
the best thing about that one is that I don't know if that's actually what happens in that scene in Hunter x Hunter, and I wouldn't question if that's actually the scene.
I didn't
Because
even
it
know
is
it was a Hunter
absolutely
Hunter.
a thing. Yeah, that's from the funny part of Hunter x Hunter that people don't like. That is post Chimera Ant arc.
I have
That's the silly section.
This reminds me that I have a funny manga screenshot. That even people who have read this manga may or may not know whether or not this is a real screenshot.
Beautiful.
Is it
Oh
real?
my
Is it
God.
not? The answer is
There's
it's
no
not.
way.
It's not real. It's not
There's
very
no way.
very much not, because 3 of us have read this manga and absolutely not. The context of that caption is nowhere near what
Wait,
is going on in that
wait,
scene.
is that-
That is until your bones rot.
Okay.
Which, in my
That's
opinion,
great.
makes that photo 10 times funnier.
That does add a lot to
Yeah.
to the comedy there.
Let's get into
Something, man.
Senpai.
But anyways, I think the show's fine. It's just it hasn't quite grabbed me like it has you guys, so I'm just not as like invested in it.
I'm definitely. I think you and I are very similar on this show, John. You might have been a little more down on it to start with, but I think we're in like same
Oh, I
ballpark.
died. Yep.
Oh, you're still here for us.
You're still here.
That's so based.
Oh, is it the thing where Discord like disappears
Absolutely
on
easy
on
the
your
podcast
end,
tomorrow,
but
based
it's
on making
everyone else?
money.
How do we let him know that he's still here?
I don't know. 'Cause I think Discord's completely dead on his end. Discord does that sometimes.
That's crazy.
That's why I smell that big cut. Oh my god, that smells good. That's dinner like tomorrow. My mom's cooking. Oh my goodness. Anyway,
Actually, is he actually here now, or have we actually
Oh,
lost
no.
him? We might have lost. We lost him.
he's frozen.
Yeah,
He's just in
now-
a perfect thing where it
now-
looks like he's like there.
Now we've lost him. I
staring.
just thought he was just staring intently at us. But we'll get John back. We'll get John
I
back
was just
shortly.
texting him.
Yeah. I guess
Here's where I talk about my Inaka punch. If I had
one. Yeah. I guess this is where I could talk about Black Clover. I won't.
I guess we could.
We
start.
could.
It
We
is
could
your
keep.
show next.
We could keep going for now, and hopefully it buffers out. And then we would just give John time.
If not, we cry.
We're gonna give him a minute. We're gonna see if we're gonna give him a minute first before we do anything else. Unfortunate. If you guys didn't know, there's a new Chainsaw Man chapter. It came out today.
Yeah,
I
I
just
read that
read
about
it.
5 minutes ago.
Yep, I read it when Michael was talking about the things he was doing.
See, I read it while John was talking through Nokotan. That I was like, "What do you guys were summarizing a show?" And I was like, "Oh shit, it's Chainsaw Man."
That
chapter."
sure is a chapter.
Yeah,
Visually,
there's like legitimately 4 text bubbles, maybe.
Yeah.
And I don't even think there's that many.
well, of course, Michael. Of course, there's no text bubbles. No one.
God
What do you want from him, Michael?
No, but they like specifically said that the last time it didn't actually affect that thing from happening. Because like the idea is that like, when the last thing happened, it was fine.
Well, of course, Michael, because we don't hear them in that chapter. We just see the words they say. In this chapter,
No, but like it specifically stated after that they could still hear.
well, yeah, but we don't need to know the context of this. It's much cooler and based this way. Trust me.
Fair.
There was not.
I
a
enjoy seeing
single
that.
text
I enjoy
bubble.
seeing the 14 gameplay
Yeah.
happening in the background on Mason's side. I think that's 14. Maybe it's
It's wild.
something else. Oh, is it? Wow. Okay. The camera movements are like the exact same between the games. But as I said it, I was like, oh no, that character looks a little too big to be at 14 characters. Those are all twinks.
All of them.
Even the big characters are twinks.
It's definitely that Chainsaw Man
I
chapter
bet.
is definitely intentional. That there's no
Oh, yeah.
dialogue. It's absolutely
Yeah.
for that reason.
It's a
Yeah.
base chapter.
It is. It's really cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool visuals. I don't fully
See,
understand everything, but
Again, I'm going through that chapter. My brain goes, wait a sec. This kind of like this is
Feels-
a weird thing with like the whole bit that's been happening with him. Thing gone. How eat if no.
He's not beholden to that.
Yeah, he doesn't have a mouth.
absorbs-
He has a chainsaw.
No,
And
but
a
it's
slit
specifically
to
when
consume.
he eats them.
Yeah, he's a slit to consume.
Hmm.
I thought it's when he kills. In that form. I thought in that form it's when he kills.
I thought it was specifically
it's
because
when-
the
it's
idea
when
because the
he
idea he gets
eats.
hit in the stomach by octopus and he regurgitates ear is what causes that thing to happen. It's Chainsaw Man spoilers, right?
It's fine. We were talking about it. They knew it was
Yeah.
coming. It's fine. And everyone knows about the ear in some way or another, even if they don't.
Yeah, it's great. Everyone's God. That bit was invading like every subreddit when that chapter came out. Like I was in like Anarchy Chess and I saw a reference to it. So r/Anarchy Chess is a funny server, funny subreddit. They have legitimately one joke, but it's a good joke. And it's just en passant. That's the entire joke. But en passant's based.
I guess in an attempt to give him some more time, I guess we can talk Senpai for now. We'll just run through it and then we'll let John do some catch up and hopefully that will get us some time there. So Senpai this week.
I imagine now we're all like kind of messed up in the
Yeah,
in the
dude, Mason's still largely on screen. He can just wave twice now.
Yeah, Mason's now in 2 boxes.
Yeah. Push. Well, see, now Mason is in a box and Cody's in a box. And so
Holy
it's
shit.
perfect. We
I
got
see
that
4 people still.
we got that
spawned.
killer WoW gameplay in the background. So Senpai this week is pain and suffering and pain. So we open, I think just with them at the basketball game, right?
Mhm.
So they are vibing in the basketball game. And Makoto is filling in for a player who is injured and playing. So Saki and Ryuji are vibing up top where all the cool people hang, on like that upper railing that no American gym has in it, because they hate us. And they're just chatting, and Ryuji's just like, "Hey, do you actually love Makoto?" And Saki goes, "Why would you ask me that? Do you think I don't love Makoto?" And Ryuji goes, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. No, you do. You're good." And Saki goes, "But what about you?" And Ryuji goes, "Yeah, actually, yeah. Don't tell him, yeah." And then Saki gets very upset and is like, "Why do you get to have this and I don't?" Because she is admitting to Ryuji she doesn't understand why she can't feel the way she wants to feel about Makoto, and she wants to know why. It is how Ryuji figured it out. She wants to know if it's that obvious that that's not the case. And then she runs away crying, and Ryuji chases after her, and Makoto's like, "What the fuck's going on up there? I got a basketball game." We're not going to talk about the basketball game. We're not going to talk about the 3-point he didn't shoot that totally did count as a 3-point. And look, it's not a sports show, okay? Cut it some slack. But Ryuji chases after Saki and is like, "Okay, hear me out. I won't tell him what you said, but you gotta come back and act like nothing happened, okay? And if you want to talk about this, we'll talk about this. And if you don't want to talk about this, okay, well, I'll just ignore it." And then they come back. And I'm trying to remember the middle of this episode. If they no longer eat on the roof because it is getting cold. Makoto starts to read too deep into Ryuji and Saki enjoying being friends and starts to believe perhaps they love each other. So Makoto confronts Ryuji about it and goes, "Ryuji, are you in love with anybody?" And Ryuji goes, yes. Yes. Fuck you. Yes, I am in love with somebody." And Makoto goes, It's Aoi, isn't it?" And Ryuji goes, "What? No. Why would you think? What? No. What? That? No. Never. What?" And Makoto goes, "Do I know the person you're in love with?" And Ryuji goes, "Yeah. Very well, actually, yeah." And Makoto goes, So it's Aoi." Because I don't know who else I know well besides you, Aoi, and me. We don't get that, but I'm sure that's coming soon. That's gonna have to hit at some point. And so Makoto then thinks about that. We get some more moments with Aoi talking about how she's never been good at showing her feelings towards people, so she's just kind of liked. She's acted like everybody is important to her to a degree that she enjoys being with them. So when people are like, you shouldn't hang out with that person, she doesn't go do that, but she says she'll go do that. So she winds up coming off a little fake and a lot weird to people. And then she met Makoto and went, that's a person. I like that person. To some degree. That person makes me feel something different compared to everybody else. That must mean it's love. Which is a complicated thing. And then the gang... and then Ryuji gets sick, because it's cold outside. So Ryuji gets sick. And Makoto heads to the classroom where they eat, where they have been temporarily eating lunches together. And Aoi's there, just vibing, laying on the table, listening to the rain. And Aoi's like, you should come lay down and listen to the rain with me, Makoto senpai. And so Makoto does so. And Aoi's like, I'm sorry for all the weird and embarrassing things I've said to you and cringe. I won't be doing that anymore. And Makoto's like, I don't think anything you've done is like that. And Aoi goes, also, I'm done loving you. We're just gonna call that here. We're just gonna call that here. That's gonna be that. I'm also gonna start eating lunch with my friends so you can eat lunch with your friends because you have more friends now, and that's good. So I'm gonna give you your space and I'm gonna take my space. And then Makoto lies there on the table in the rain, and uh-oh. Perhaps things are complicated now. I adore this episode of Senpai. I think it's really, really good. I think it's fucking incredible, and I like all the strong emotional scenes really hit. And I really like where this is building our set of characters, and I am excited to see how they navigate through what they've got going on. I really like this show.
It's a good ass episode.
Good job.
Yeah. The stuff they're doing with Mai is her name.
Aoi?
Yeah, Aoi. The stuff with Saki. That's it. Yeah. Stuff they're doing with Saki's wonderful. It's what I wanted to get out of Himari. As we say this literally every week. It feels like at this point. It's like we've actually said it every week. It's what we wanted out of Himari and Wish Me a Love Song. Because they're actually like, it's not just like, oh, it's a thing, and then we're gonna go talk about 15 other things. They're like hard focusing on these three characters' dynamic, and like really building this out instead of trying to like introduce other side things. And I think that works really well here.
Yeah, because you have three entirely separate dynamics, which is you have Makoto, who views both of these people as very close friends of his, who are like, for a long time, his only two friends, and has never really looked at them as anything beyond that point. You have Aoi, who desperately wants to be in love with a person she thinks is important to her, but also maybe has never had a meaningful relationship, probably outside of her mother, develop to that point. So she doesn't know what that feeling is actually like, or what to call it, or how to interact with it at all. And then you have Ryuji, who is in denial, and is slowly working his way out of denial, but is now facing the problem of, okay, I love my best friend. I know I love my best friend. I can say I love my best friend. My best friend is a guy, and I am a guy. That can't go anywhere. And it also doesn't particularly seem like Makoto, and as far as he knows, that might damage the friendship he has with Makoto, which he very clearly values in a very high manner, in addition to him loving Makoto. So I think these three bounce off each other incredibly well. It's also just nice to watch Makoto have a good school life for a little bit. We just took a nice little breather, and now things are okay for now. People are nice.
So.
Oh yeah, you did miss one. Okay, you did miss one.
Yeah, you missed one on Michael's list.
Yeah, Elusive Samurai for me should have been bolded because I'm the only one with it in middle block.
You're right.
It took me that whole time from when Mason said it to find it. Sorry.
It's okay. I guess I'll say my thoughts. I really like this episode. I'm going to be entirely honest with you. The reason why it's so low on my power ranking is simply because basically everything from 2 through 7 is just kind of there. I throw it into a bingo machine essentially, and just whatever pops out.
Fair.
That's fair.
Completely understandable. And now we've come to a crossroads.
So I have a funny thing happening right now. So I have I use a wallpaper engine, and the thing I have right now is a sound visualizer, and it's like really sensitive. I didn't like change anything on it, but it's really sensitive. And I'm looking at my other monitor, and Sean's fan or whatever it is that's playing in the background is showing on the audio visualizer.
Mhm.
I think it's very
Well,
funny.
it pops up on my Discord too, and it does pick up on stream.
No, but it's just really funny seeing the visualizer pop up, and then like Mason was turning his chair, and every little like little sound there was making bumps on it. And I was like, that's funny.
You should stream it, and we'll make it the fourth member of the podcast. Actually, don't do that because it messes up the positions of the cameras.
Yeah.
It would throw us
It
all
would.
off one, and I would have to
Yeah.
fix that twice. Once when we do it, and once when John comes back. Please God.
He did say 8 minutes ago, no idea when it'll be back. So just keep going, I guess.
Okay. We'll have to catch him up on that. In that regard. Here's what I'm gonna do real quick then. Don't mind that. Where'd you go? What happened to you?
Why does my camera hate me?
Why did you disappear?
Oh, it liked me again. Look at that. Oh, it hates me again. Camera, I'm not the microphone. Do I have to move the microphone farther off camera? Do I have to put it down here so that everything sounds weird? And now it's covering my keyboard.
I have to grab something real quick just to do this the way I want to. Where did I put this? Where could I have possibly put this?
Are you trying to find a temporary fourth thing to put in?
Oh, I know what happened. I didn't why did I do that? That was dumb of me. That's silly.
I love hearing Sean's commentary on things we have no idea what's happening with.
Mhm.
It's very fun.
There we go. That fixes that.
Yeah, I can't. If I try to bring up stream, every time I've brought up a YouTube video on the side, like I tend to do, my internet has like my ping has shot up to like 200, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not listening to music on the side today. Discord has decided, nuh-uh.
So I was just getting Colette back on screen
Hmm.
from Wistoria.
And I guess we can get started on the next show.
Yeah, we can. It's
Alya,
Sean's show, but we will talk about it. Alya hides.
Yeah, Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Rush. I guess I can do because I haven't spoken yet to start.
You got some time.
Yeah. God, what the fuck? Okay, so
We open with the sister.
Yeah, we do open. So he's at home doing at-home things, and his sister's there visiting again, because she does that because they're siblings. They just kind of do that sometimes. They're vibing. And she's being the gremlin as she is all the time. We get a nice callback to episode 2, I think it was. The bit.
Not yet, Michael.
Okay.
He comes home and she is naked in the bathroom
I forgot.
with the towel. And we have to do this segment.
We have to do this segment where it's like, okay, yeah, we don't need to see this. And then she pushes way too hard into the bit here.
This bit is funny. Let's.
It is an extremely funny bit that she pushed. It's the like, yeah, this is a setup that would happen in a shitty rom-com. Is the whole bit they're going with, because these two are fucking nerds. They are, as they call each other, both otakus constantly. because they're big nerds about all these things.
My favorite part is watching this and Michael going, how did the towel get back off her shoulders? Or get back on her shoulders?
They do reuse a piece of animation, which
It's
is like
very
pushed up
funny.
next to him, where it's like, oh, the towel's not like wherever.
It's not covering
then-
anymore, it's just over her
Yeah.
shoulders.
Yeah, and then it cuts to and then she puts a towel on. Then it gets back to that other piece of animation because they didn't think about it. Oopsies. But yeah, we have this bit with the bathroom. But yeah, it's a very funny bit. The thing they push with it.
But yeah, and
Which is the two of them joking about the scenario they're in, and her trying to push the like look, it's a shitty visual novel rom-com segment. And he's like, stop.
And
Stop.
they also talk about the student government stuff, him running with Alya, because that then leads into.
Yeah.
I guess they go back to his room at some point, and she's actually clothed, and they do that conversation. I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
And
then
then yeah. Well, and then she goes, brush my hair, and he
Yeah.
goes, no, and she goes, brush my hair, and he goes, fine. And they have a nice like actual heart-to-heart between the two of them, being like actual siblings, and it's really nice. Because these two are really like well made. They're fucking dumbasses. They're what happens when twins have similar interests. They're just two fucking dinguses. But yeah, we get a nice little heart to heart between them, like talking about sibling things. Because she's like, so you're actually gonna like run against me, and he's like, yeah, like that kind of whole thing. The two of them, like them being rivals in the student government stuff. And then it's the next morning. He gets up from bed. He steps off. Because I think is what we get from here. I don't think there's another thing. Whatever. He gets off the bed. He's like, or he wakes up. He's like, she left. Doubtful, but I don't see her. So he gets off the bed and he gets his ankles grabbed. Which is a callback to episode 2, where she goes, "I'd do it again." It's exact same thing. She said she would grab his ankles once again. And
then he
we get
suffocates her.
Yeah, no. Then she gets stuck in this like weird cubby under his bed that is too small for her to be in, which leads to a fantastic line read, which is the I'm stuck, get me out.
Get me out.
In both the Japanese and English, it's really good. Get me out.
It's pull me out.
Yeah, pull me out. It's really good. And then he does the but what if I suffocate you there? She also then leads into the, at least in the English, they pull the yeah, I'm stuck. Do not make me say the step bro bit. She said in the subs that it's not happened. That entire line does not happen.
Yeah. Mason, did you know?
It's still very much like an I'm stuck kind
Did you know, Mason, that this line exists in the dub and the sub? Michael just cracked the joke over it, so I completely missed it on our watch through.
Which one?
The screenshot. I posted it in the group chat.
Yeah. So while this happened was when I was doing the SAO abridged. All I have to do is nothing. As long as I don't give her this life-saving juice that I'm currently giving her. That might be my favorite bit in all of SAO abridged. But anyway, we're not talking about SU. We're talking about Alya hides her feeling in Russia. What the fuck happened? That's the first half of this episode.
They go to class. He's functioning like a normal human being because he got sleep.
Yeah,
so Alya
yeah,
thinks he is committed to, like, he is showing how committed he is to be her running mate. And so she doesn't know how to act around him. And then he gets pelted in the face in volleyball. And she tries to go help him and take care of him and check up on him. And then we get a bit where he stares at her sister's chest. And then she finds out that he actually just got a good night's sleep and he wasn't dedicated to her, and she gets mad. And then they go to student council government, and we introduce the last member we haven't met, who is the president's girlfriend and vice president, and also fucking insane. I think that's roughly that.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this episode. I think the two of them are I think the two siblings are wonderful. They have really good banter between the two of them. And I also adore him and Alya. I think they're so fun together. We get a lot of good stuff. I love the bit that is, no, I just got like 8 hours of sleep last night, so like I'm functioning. I get that bit was great. I get that was wonderful.
I really like this episode. I'm not even like particularly gawking it for the shower stuff because like Michael and I talked about this. shows that actually make use of the bit that they're running with in the ecchi content, like, if you've made it worthwhile, it's fine. Like, the bits they run make it worthwhile at the start of this episode. The earlier stuff in Alya, where we got 87 panty shots of her changing in the changing room because it felt like it, do not build to the bit, right?
Not the bit.
Yeah, not the bit. So, like, I'm not even holding it against it. I just think Nokotan was funnier. And in relation to the comedy bit, that nudged it out there. But again, like, this is still in that section of show that I really like, and I think, like, is pretty good. So again, it's just kind of like, I just put it a little under compared to where it could be. That's why it's middle of the pack.
That's fair.
Fair.
I think for me, I think Nokotan probably is a funnier show, but I think Alya has those bits that's the non-comedy bits that do stand. Like, again, the bit that
It has a
stood
story.
out so much for me was the them being siblings and having that little heart to heart, that one section. Like, that
Yeah.
very much stood out as like one of the big sections of this episode.
Yeah, I think
Also,
they're fucking
we got,
dinguses,
like-
and I love them.
I don't think we have any Rush in this episode.
No.
Oh, maybe like, I don't know,
I don't think so.
maybe
That's
from
crazy.
her, maybe from her sister, but
No.
I don't know. I don't even think. I think you're right.
That's why it's sometimes and not always.
Yeah, true. She's a flat. She was
She's not
flat out with her
particularly
feelings this
she's
time.
not. She's not particularly hiding any feelings this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's. No, that is.
I wish John was here for us to talk about the next one. This is gonna be a big one.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, the next couple are gonna be. Are gonna have at least conversations to have. So let's talk about it, Mason. Let's run into Suicide Squad.
So Suicide Squad this week starts off with them getting to the portal where the signal for their bombs is supposed to come off. And we get a little bit of them thinking that the bombs are about to go off, and then right before they're about to, the release trigger signal is sent, and they're all good. So then they have a discussion about getting gear to be able to fight the fight better, I believe, and
Yeah,
actually follow
because
the mission.
they are out of because Deadshot in particular is out of ammo.
Yes. So Rick Flag knows where where his helicopter landed, which is in the middle of a dragon nest. So they go and try and get the equipment and end up fighting a dragon. This goes as well as it could, honestly. Some of them get the shit beat out of them. Harley gets a baby dragon. It's great. I know that is a very short description of what happened in this episode, but most of this episode is just the fight with the dragon.
That is what happened in this episode.
Yeah. I raised it up from not the bottom simply because this episode was fun in that it was just the characters that I enjoy. I fully recognize that this show is okay.
Yeah, no. I think this episode had a lot of fun things. I think, again, these 5 or 6, yeah, 'cause it's 5 of them plus Guy.
Plus Rick Flag.
Yeah. Like, the 6 of them are just fun to watch. I'm not the biggest fan of Peacemaker. I think he's fine. He's probably my least favorite of the group because his bit kind of ran dry really early.
We
He's just,
also
I
haven't
am Peace Guy.
gotten anything with him yet. So here's the thing. Peacemaker is fucking unhinged.
Yes. His exact philosophy is, I will keep the peace no matter how many men, women, and children I have to kill to do it.
But he has screws loose in really fucking strange ways that make him really enjoyable, and we just haven't gotten anything with him.
Yeah, all we've gotten from him is that he's
Yeah.
really good at keeping time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe the closest thing
Bro is fucking Senku from Doctor stuff.
I think perhaps the closest thing is him being like, kind of want to eat the egg. He's a little out of pocket
It's
with that
a
one.
lot of protein.
Yeah.
It's a lot of protein.
So,
Protein.
I'm gonna get the pause out of the way. I think the actual dragon fight, like the shot of Harley with the frying pan, and a lot of the shots that come after it with the dragon are incredibly well done.
PNG of Dirt Mound.
And I do enjoy the character banter. Let me get into it. I think this episode looks like dog shit outside of that fight. Every scene leading up to it, like them in the forest, in the mushroom forest, is fine. There's a whole nother side of that conversation I'm going to talk about in relation to that, though. But like once we hit the mountain, and they get there, like it's a really cool set piece how they show it to you, and then you are on a flat landscape that doesn't look good. The running looks terrible. The character animations don't look great. Everything's really wonky. You got a PNG dirt mound just there as a ramp. It's there.
PNG Dirt.
You
when
have-
Sean finished the episode, he was like, I was like, did it look bad? And then my brain just immediately shot to PNG Dirt Mound as Harley's running at it to do the flip.
Yeah.
It was real. It was there.
When Deadshot gets attacked by the dragon and falls off, it's so jarring to me because you have no reference on where the fuck they are on this giant island. They got that close to the edge. It almost feels like Deadshot flies into a completely different location when he starts to fall, because there was no indication they were anywhere near the edge of this floating mountain island. Some other gripes, because this is the show that by far had me like the most. We just open again. We didn't talk about it for episode 3 or 4. I don't remember which one did it. I think it was 3. The show just opens. It opens in a location that doesn't pick up exactly where the last episode ends off, and it feels weird. They're just at the lake, at the gate. We don't get any kind of closure or like follow up about why the queen reacted the way she did, or like them getting the positions they do to keep helping the army. Like, as far as we knew at the end of episode 4, they were still on like rocky waters with the Empire, despite having won. And now they're fine. And it's jarring. And then, to get us to where we need to go, we have PNG roll of just still frame images of them doing stuff. And that's fine. It looks fine. It's just, it's very apparent that like your whole first chunk isn't actual like high animation effort to get them there. They show off some cool locations like on the overworld map that might have been neat for the fantasy setting that we're just not gonna touch because there's no major threat there, and you know what, that's fine. Like, I'm not gonna be too upset about that. King Shark starts talking this episode significantly more than he does in the past 4.
He's more comfortable with them.
Why? And that, like,
Spend
that's
more time with them.
where, when, like that is my problem. Is like to me the jump of him saying relatively nothing, maybe one quip per fight, to having decently large conversations with Harley and like quipping pretty frequently is like, to me it was jarring for his character to talk as much as he did this episode. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just weird. Like, a lot of these things together make like a really odd feeling paced episode that doesn't look good for most of it, that really winds up feeling like we threw all the budget at the dragon because the dragon's cool. And they're not wrong. The dragon's
also,
sick.
We have a baby dragon now.
We have a baby dragon. I'm not particularly too excited about. Here's the other thing. I actually don't. I don't
baby
have.
dragon's crazy.
Peacekeeper.
They got a fucking time wizard the way this baby dragon.
Peacekeeper held up that egg, and I went, I guess that's for hard. Walked on that mountain. That mountain. That dragon is significantly bigger. And I told Michael that. I'm like, it bothers me a little, Michael. And he goes, you don't know how fast they grow in this world. I went, you're right, Michael. I don't know how fast dragons age in this world. I sure wish I knew a goddamn thing about this world.
They got the time wizard.
But also, I've realized
to an
that
ancient dragon, or
there are-
thousand dragon.
there are
whichever
elements of
dragon
this
it is.
show's writing I also just don't like. They're just chatting, vibing, talking about an ammo shortage, and Harley goes, well, you run out of ammo? You could use a frying pan like in a zombie apocalypse. And because she spoke it, thus it must be, she gets a frying pan from the orcs we're supposed to care about. Or they're going to make these characters care about. Harley is the only person, I think justifiably, who should probably give any fucks that this happened because she was kind of vibing with them. Everybody else, I'm hard pressed to think they're gonna be like, damn, those orcs were kind of cool. I'm real hurt about, like, I am fine if the large reaction is, those guys were cool, fuck you, we're gonna kick your ass. Like, that is fine. If it's like, if a lot of this cast is like, I'm so torn up, they didn't deserve that, they weren't actually bad guys, I'm gonna be like, shut the fuck up, you're villains. You had a whole monologue about how you're villains. Shut the fuck up, don't give me that. But the show hasn't done that, so I won't be mad about it. But like, the writing of, I need this thing. Time passes. Thing
I have
acquired.
this thing.
Time passes. Big climactic moment with the thing that Harley set up. Like, it's a very common thing we've done now, because we did it with the rat delivery on the line. And while this has significantly more impact than the Joker rat quote does and feels more worth it, it just feels very simple. And so, like, this episode overall is just, like, a real fucking bummer for me. Like, it has such a cool dragon fight, and it should be way better of an episode, and I just can't bring myself to fucking like it, and I hate that.
Well, that's fair.
The dragon fight sure is a Wit Studio animated fight, though. Holy shit. That is the most ranking of kings fucking animated set fight I've seen. I guess we didn't really talk about the Stinger. The Stinger is that we have the
Enchantress and Simon.
I couldn't remember Simon's name. I was trying to start with Simon. That was the problem. I should have just started with Enchantress.
I also only remembered Enchantress.
I guess we do have to start introducing them in pairs now because we don't have that much runtime to deal with all of them.
The only reason I know Simon is because he's a villain all the fucking time in Young Justice.
Mm-hmm. Fuck, you're right. I actually know who this character is now. Holy shit!
Yes, you do.
He looks less cartoony here in a weird way that it did not make me. Yeah. He also seems less. He's more like catatonic in like Young Justice. Like he's more like super in his own brain. Like not very. Like he just looks like a fucking freak show here.
I mean, he gets progressively more of that as it goes on in Young Justice.
Yeah. God, I fucking because he has the whole Simon Says bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't want to bum this episode. Like there are good moments here. Like it's probably fine. It's just for my expectation of a show by Wit Studio, I would not have expected the budget sacrifice. I would have expected something like at least decent for most of the episode and then like really fucking clean. But I guess it's just Suicide Squad. Who needs a large budget whole way through? It's not like you have another powerhouse moneymaker to potentially feed you money to help make it good the whole way. Who no one could possibly do that for them.
No. I'm just vibing with this show.
It's entirely fine.
It's also just definitely like the show I care the least about of everything else.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely my thing.
Like that's
it's
the
very
other
much.
thing.
Other things I think notably have like had more things that I'm like, I still love like these characters a lot, but like I wouldn't care if I didn't watch episode 6 of this show. I'm not like, yeah, let's go watch the next episode. I'm kind of just like,
I'm also
I mean, to
Go
be
on.
fair, that's how I feel about both this and Nokotan. So
That's fair. I'm like, I at least like, again, I really like Nokotan's comedy in the first episode and this episode, so it gave me more hope that we're going back to it, in which case I want to watch more.
yeah. For me, it's literally just we got a good episode of that. I wanna give it at least another episode. I want to see how that goes.
And like, while there is potential here for this to be a really cool next episode, the only other show I would relatively want to vote off is definitely not going off this week. So, and even then, I really don't feel comfortable sending that off over Suicide Squad, even in my own head, which we'll get there. Before that. Also, why the fuck does Clayface turn into
Wistoria?
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, why the fuck does Clayface turn into that fucking griffin and then not do anything with it?
because he's
So we can have the funny Griffin vision.
So fucking weird. God, this screenshot's so fucking rad. Let's talk about Wistoria this week. So the Magic Festival has started. And we get to see a little bit of, I don't remember her name off the top of my head, and if she's not on the immediate character page, I'm not gonna know it.
The what?
No,
Oh no,
Lahana.
Lahana. It's like Iris, right? What she actually goes by for us.
No,
No,
Iris
that,
can't-
that's the other one. She's the one undercover. Lahana is the lightning user, who they introduce as one of the top 3. It's her, the Wind Boy, and Julius from last week. They show all 3 of them. We get the scene of her doing the dragon riding competition, where she fucking
got that
aces.
ace how this opens.
She aces that. That's really
I forgot about that scene completely.
that's really cool visually. I think it's neat.
Okay,
we
it's neat. It's fun.
we then get introduced to our MC for the for the next battle contest of the festival. Something Mike McConaughey. We get a really cool visual of his magic
that, yeah.
amplifying his voice, where it has the sigil.
It's Mike Myers.
Yeah, Mike Myers. It has the circle for the spell
Sheldon
around the
Dave.
mic, and every time they talk, it fluctuates like Michael's desktop background.
An audio visualizer.
Yeah, it's an audio visualizer, and it's really fucking cool. I think that's so neat. And for his co-commentator to be the straight man to his goofball, that's right, baby, it's Professor Edward. I adore this. This is a good bit. Oh, you just bring the most like feared and maybe like unliked professor to do your co-commentary. And he just is the straight man reporting all the facts and logics the entire time.
Mhm.
We find out that Scion has been recruited to the team by Colette, and he assumes that Colette has asked him to join the team because she's realized that Will's only ever gonna hold her down, and she needs a real man to help her get through this competition and make a name for herself. He then walks into the locker room and realizes he's on a team with Will, to which Colette goes, "You're the only person, literally the only person we could ask to boost our credit count to the required amount. That is why we needed you to do this." And Sion's like, "Fuck both of you." And then Julius walks in, he goes, "Okay, fine. I'm with you on this. I hate that guy a lot." This episode progresses in a some way.
Certainly does.
We get a
Yeah, it does.
really cool scene of the elves conjuring the battlefield for this, where they cast the most demonic fucking looking spell I've ever seen. Holy shit, what is this?
Imagine you're on the planet.
Yeah, they
Planet
fucking
Earth.
send us
Spirit
into the
conversation.
Vanguard podcast, and they create a mountain, a forest, plains, canyons, lava.
Is there an island in a swamp?
I don't think so. But they create a bunch of really difficult terrains, and thankfully, instead of
His
getting
first thing
dropped,
said was mountain, plains, forest.
Yeah.
It's the only thing in my brain was island,
Yeah.
swamps. The next
instead of getting
two.
dropped inside a volcano, our crew thankfully gets swamped and it gets dropped inside the canyons. Werkner tries to convince Will not to compete. That
fails.
ain't happening. Colette's like, "Don't worry, I got him." Will is not bringing his sword in the combat. Presumably because that's illegal. He's not actually supposed to have it outside of, like, dungeoning activities. which explains why everyone thinks he can't fucking do jack shit, because without his sword, he kinda can't do jack shit, besides kick things really hard.
It's almost like his fists can't pierce magical barriers, because magical barriers are stupid
Yeah.
in this world.
So what they
They,
do
they
is...
don't have the mashal thing, which is that if you punch a barrier hard enough, it just breaks.
Yeah. So this is a Tower of God sequence where the goal is to get to the center of the location and then grab the crown, and be the team that does that and win. Just trust me on it, Mason. It's a Tower of God thing. So Will's group starts moving, and Colette summons some gauntlets for Will to use to punch the shit out of these golems that get summoned out of these portal cubes. To which everyone goes, yo, what the fuck? Because Will punches one golem, and it fucking fractures the visualizer inside the stadium and knocks people back in the sands, and they go, no, he can't do that. That must be Colette's magic. We cut to Rusty going, yeah, Colette's magic is pretty dope, but that's also Will. And even then, Edward is like, no, when you're someone who trains your entire body and goes down into dungeons and spends all your time dungeoning and studying, if you are given the equipment to deal with this, surprise, he's gonna fucking rock shit. Which is rad. And then they get a little further in, and Colette makes some magic swords, and Will goes fucking ham and throws these swords into multiple boxes, and just fucking shreds the battlefield. This scene is sick as hell. In the meanwhile, Scion is brooding the entire time. And as the team makes their way into the forest, Will is getting ready to set up an ambush on Julius, assuming that they have gotten there faster. We find out that Julius has abandoned the rest of his team to go fuck Will up. He then gets ready to do so, and Scion decides that he's had enough of this bullshit, and just tries to kill Will and Julius in one fell swoop. And almost succeeds, seemingly, maybe. And so, justifiably, Will looks at Scion and goes, hey dude, what the fuck? Now is not the time. And Colette goes, now's really not the time, and then Julius walls her off from the rest of the group. To which Will goes, we have a bigger problem. Scion goes, you're gonna shut the fuck up, I'm gonna kick your ass. You got it, laggard? And that is where we end this episode on. We also got a mid-card that implies that Colette might have a bracelet that nullifies some kind of demon power or some shit. She got something funky going on there. She had a lot of bad things happen in her past.
Mm-hmm. This episode's rad as hell.
It's really cool. Michael, do you want to bring up your thing, and then I'll talk, and I'll give my retorts towards it. But again, understand that I think this is a fair complaint.
It's one of those things. I can't explain why it hit me the way it did. Scion's betrayal here feels weird. Maybe it's because, legitimately looking at it, it doesn't make sense for him to do this. He should take out Julius first, and then if he wants to do this, try to fight Will. Mm-hmm. Like, I understand he has the Pokemon type matchup against Julius, so like, honestly, he could probably win. It just, the episode is building up Scion being mad at them. It just, the way this plays, I was like, Scion, what the fuck's wrong with you? I thought you were, like, kind of smart. It just felt out of character a little bit. For a character we don't have enough time with yet.
Yeah. So my three things I said to Michael were, to me, one, like he said, it's building up how angry he is at Will the whole time. He is constantly watching someone he knows is stronger. Basically, Colette walks up to him and says, we need you here as a body, we actually don't need you to do anything, and then they solo two entire areas without him. They don't let him do a goddamn thing, because they don't need him to. So he's literally just baggage, following around somebody who him and the rest of the school considers to be worthless, and so he just fucking blows his lid. Where I am with this is that I personally think Scion sees Will as a bigger threat than Julius, which I think is really funny to think about.
That's immensely based.
So he's like, I don't care about that fuck. I have beef with you, and you're the problem. I need to prove I can beat you because I think Scion believes wholeheartedly he could take Julius in a fight, whether he's right or not. I think that man has the utmost confidence that he's got that dude beat, but he's not confident he can beat Will. So, like, it's not worth him to expend energy on someone he already thinks he's got the match down. He needs to take out Will first. That's me assuming he's dumb. The other thing I said is that I think it's actually probably good to feel mad at Scion, because I think you should. Because even Will's like, dude, this is the wrong move. You're so fucking dumb, what are you doing? Like, the show builds it up as like, no, this is incorrect. The one character who is being portrayed as like really smart and understanding of battle tactics, general know-how, literally basically a genius if he could use magics, looks at Scion and goes, now is not the time, my dude. Can we, like, postpone this 10 minutes? I got beef elsewhere. I'm very excited for this. I think this is gonna be rad, but I do understand that. With that in mind, this is also like a build-up episode.
Yeah.
And, like, it's lots of action, not too much talking, and while stuff is really cool and I like this world, it's like, okay, like, you didn't super wow me. Like, show's still fucking pretty as hell, though.
Yeah.
Show's cool. Yeah.
It's just good.
And again, like, I don't know, man. You're in a pack with shit. I don't know where to put you. Like, I could put you in top 3 and like, I literally looked at my list. I was like, there was a point where I had it Senpai, Wistoria, losing Heroines, and I'm like, that feels wrong. I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, it's...
This and Elusive swapped back and forth about 15 times.
Yeah.
There was a time where so for me, like, I've mentioned to Sean, I think Mason may have been in call at some point earlier when I said this, but like 1 to 4, I was like, I like these in this order here. 5 to 9 was literally that order swapped about 20 times. Wistoria has been, I think, in all 5 of these places at some point.
It really was for me, like for me it was, where do I put Wistoria and Elusive was like kind of my battle. Like I knew they were going to be above Nokotan, and I eventually settled that I wanted them below losing. So my brain was just like, where do I want these two to go with? And we're going to get there soon. We'll talk about Elusive, and it's just that there's an element of Elusive episode that I just really liked, and it is something that I'm really interested in, and I think was sick. So
yeah. Yeah, for me, the thing, like, the reason, like, some of these things kind of flip back and forth is that I think of one part of an episode and go, that was an okay. And then I think of Elusive, then I think of, like, the last 5 minutes, and I go, ooh, yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Its setup for the next episode has me super excited. Oh, that's not...
But, yeah. I don't have the list up anymore. What the fuck's next?
VTuber.
Holy shit, it's VTuber.
You want to do this too, Michael?
Sure. Like, I was gonna say Mason could take it, but I think he also talks right after this for Elusive.
I do.
Yeah. Okay, so VTuber. This episode is about the 4th generation at HoloLive. I don't remember what their group's called.
Live on.
Live on, yeah. Live on Gen 4.
It's bad that I know that.
See, that's because you don't follow 15 other fucking VTubers.
Fair enough.
And have all their names locked in.
You have
there.
other shit in your brain.
You're not sitting here and go, because it's not HoloLive, it's not Digisanji, it's not Idol, it's not Mythic Town. But yeah, so we have the 3 new members. And this entire episode, outside of like the last 5 minutes of it, or like 5 minutes kind of like randomly near the middle.
It's the middle part where it's not centered on them, because it's the
that's the stuff with Mashida.
Yes.
But yeah, so the first like half of this episode is essentially we are POV watching debut streams of the 3 of them. The first one, her name is Alice, I think is the character's first name. I don't remember the last name.
I believe so.
Alice Soma.
Soma.
Yeah,
yeah.
Not opening up my browser because it's gonna cause Discord to explode.
Yeah, she's a Fruits Basket character, confirmed.
Yeah, god damn it. She's gonna turn into the fucking rat. But yeah, so her character trait is she is obsessed with Aoyuki. Like, obsessed with Aoyuki. Her entire bit is when she was sending in her like interview stuff, instead of like actually talking about what made her a good VTuber or anything, she just said Aoyuki's really cool. I really want to be with Aoyuki. Hey, did you know Aoyuki's really awesome? that's it. That's her entire personality. Is that she's like really, really horny for. Also, she's like a tomboy, like royal kind of avatar character. Yeah, that's her thing.
She's
Royal
also in an
tomboy
idol
kind of
group.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyway, that doesn't get brought up again. The second member is she has a kind of like more. She has like green hair, like kind of like druid kind of vibes.
She's an elf.
Nature, elf nature vibes. They run a zoo, or they work for a zoo.
Hey.
And the name of the zoo is their. Oh my God, he's back. He can talk about
solved
VTuber.
Let's hold on before.
Hi.
Let me,
Thank
I
God
gotta-
I can talk about VTuber,
I
the
gotta-
best show of the fucking week, baby.
Hold on. Let's give you
No,
some.
but fair.
Let's give you some time. But so you got a couple of things to catch up on, my dude. Thoughts on Alya?
I can speedrun. Alya was pretty good this week. What happened this week? This sister
No, you
continues
don't gotta
to be
do
the
that.
most-
We did it already.
I know, but quick points just from what I remember.
Okay.
Sister is goated. Absolutely fucking prime meme material. Watching this in dub is a fucking holistic experience that everyone should have to experience at least once in their life, because holy shit, she is an absolute gooner, and I respect it.
The sub's also very close and very like they're basically
The sub
quote
is
for
very
quote.
good from what I hear.
There's like
Yeah.
there's a couple of things that are slightly different. The step we talked about, the step bro line's not in the sub, but that's literally the only thing
Don't-
you lose.
Don't let me say the step pro line. That was just too much. Also, shouts to her consistency, Blushy Mason. Of saying, like, hey, next time I'm gonna grab you from under the bed. What did she do this time? Grabbed her from under the bed.
Good bit.
To which he tried to suffocate her, which honestly, fair enough, probably deserved.
Episode 10 of Nokotan gonna be peak fucking perfection right there.
This show is great. I had a really good time watching it. I think it's fucking hilarious. I know it has some suspect bits, but I think it does a good job of brushing it off with the main character going,
Yeah.
"That's disgusting. You set this all up. You're cringe." And she's like, "What? Is that obvious?"
Yeah.
And then it always then leads into like a joke about the bit.
Exactly. It's making fun of this shit, which is what we do normally anyways. So I appreciate that from the show. What was next? on the
Good
list?
job for us.
Suicide Squad.
It's like a Suicide Squad. I hate that they just fucking go, all right, let's go do the thing. Picture, picture, done. And you're like, cool. And now we're fighting a dragon. Sure, man. Yeah, whatever.
No,
Cool. And then they do stuff, and
counterpoint.
you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. They did stuff. But then like half the episode was them just going, picture, picture. And it's like, no. Fucking do
Counterpoint.
shit.
We have a baby dragon now.
Now we have Baby Dragon, because why the fuck not? Of course Harley gets something fun.
Of
Harley's
course,
still
she's the main
great, but
character.
everyone else is... The plot progression is frustrating.
Did you like PNG Rock?
Which one?
The PNG Rock in the ground? Where it's just
She
like
goes to like run. She goes to like run up a ramp during the fight, and it's
I'm
just
not gonna lie, I
a
wasn't
rock in the
paying
middle
the
of the
closest
floor.
attention at that point, because after the first 60% episode was showing me a map of them walking, followed by like pictures of action happening, I slowly was checking out by that point. I did not notice the PNG rock, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
However,
PNG
what I
rock.
did notice is that Senpai's still really good. I missed out on Senpai
Oh yeah,
too.
shit. Also, you did. Yeah.
Yeah, because
So
that was
good.
when he popped.
Dude, that shit's deep. That shit's that's rough, buddy. Is all I have to say about her.
For all
Because,
of them. For all of them. That's rough.
It's
Yeah,
interesting
all
that
three
it's
of them.
like it's interesting that it's like she's having this introspective of like my love isn't his love, so therefore it's not love. When in reality, it could still be love and affection. She just doesn't know it, and everyone expresses it differently. But at the same time, it could just not be love. It could just be projecting in like fucking Stockholm syndrome over here from her dad not loving her. That's not the right example, but
No,
words.
but you're fine.
But that's okay. Where are we at? Wistoria was the last one you guys touched
Yep.
up on. I mean, I kind of saw this coming. He's kind of pissed off, but he's kind of cringe for doing this here. Like, deal with the
That
ice
was
guy
our entire
first,
talk was
asshole.
he's being fucking cringe right now.
Dude, fucking do something. If you got a problem with it, fucking go blast some of the golems and stuff. You're just like going like, damn, he's so impressive and better than me. That pisses me off. I'll watch him do all the work, but it's gonna piss me off doing it. Then do something.
Yeah, I think the argument, like I said, is that, like, one, I think Will is legitimately too fast for him to do anything.
He has magic.
Will's
I don't want to
cracked.
hear an excuse. You have
Nah, but
literal
Will's cracked.
magic.
How do you feel about our MC, John? of the event.
Who will?
No, the
Oh,
no.
no.
Our guy Michael Myers.
Mike Myers is fucking hilarious. He's like, the biggest asshole professor will be commentating with me. I will kill you. Please don't. Anyways, here's the challengers.
Did you notice that when they talk, the circle for the magic at their wands fluctuates?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
It's got like an audio
For, like, vocal
visualizer. Yeah.
I'm
That's
not
amazing.
saying that this actually exists, but in the illegal underground betting rings, these two are on the top right now. And I'm not saying that I was betting, but if I was,
When I put all my money on this guy,
That's
what
a real.
did you just
I
say?
forgot how
And
much I love
introducing the
that
next
bit.
team, Will and this guy. Why is Will here? We don't know, but we'll find out. Yeah, I thought it was good. Like again,
Did
like
you read?
it's like a half setup episode, half Will's just kind of clearing episode.
Did you read the mid card for Colette?
Mm-hmm.
She's got some stuff cooking.
She's got some stuff going on. I don't fully like. She's one of those characters that it's like I've watched enough anime that it's like I don't know if I fully trust Colette just because anime has hurt me before. If that makes sense.
I think she is probably more of a berserker style of character. Probably is what they have set up here. Where if
I mean, her
the-
magic's pretty sick.
yeah.
The boosting magic, where it's like I'll just make a gauntlet that amplifies your already absolutely broken like strength stat, basically, and can allow you to technically bypass the rules of this exam by using magic.
John, I think we'll just let you take VTuber from the top because we weren't. We did
Oh,
not get
God.
much through this.
Oh God, where do we start?
So
Okay,
it's
can still hear
it's
them.
it's
So,
it's
the
Gen
fourth
4
gen
introductions. Yep.
Gen 4 reveal. We have three new Kohai, in which he's like, all right, let's watch these openings, and it opens with the first one, who is reminds me a lot of a Hololive character that I won't name because of copyright reasons, but she's like, ah yes, I am this character. I'm very regal and professional. However, she's my fucking Oshi, and I want to suck her toes. Is basically what she says.
She says a lot more than that.
She says even worse than that.
Mhm.
One might argue. That's the first gen mate. We're like, okay, that's the weird one. She adores me. That's great. I might need security detail from, I think her name's like Arisu or something like that. But hey, that's okay. We'll move on. I guess it's nice that she simps for me. I guess that's okay. I can't really complain because I kind of did that in my first stream. Oh well. And what was her last one? I want to like take her uvula or something like that. Was her like closest statement?
The throat penis.
Yeah, throat cock.
And then she's like, okay, good. We have a normal elf mommy princess. This is great. And then she's like, did you know that monkeys have massive dicks?
No, they have really tiny dicks.
And they
A lot of
throw their
those.
poop. And so we have animal princess who just knows the worst facts about animals, basically. She's fauna. That's what she is, except instead of plants or all nature, it's just animals. Then finally she's like, okay, surely the last one's normal. And the last one's like, really shy, like, hi, this is my name. I'm baby. is her characteristic. She is baby. Please, taking applications to be my mothers and fathers. Please spoil me, thank you.
So here's a fun detail. In the sub, it is only mother. There is no father in the sub. It is strictly mother.
She might have said mommy. I forget.
Well, the only reason I'm saying that is because I know when Michael talked about this character, he did the same thing, where he brought up mother and father. So just in case, in the dub it's both.
Might
In the
be.
sub, it's only mother.
But I just love the image that she has of her being held as a baby, and it just says, please subscribe, which is based as fucking hell. To which, Ayahuasca's just like, they're fucking nuts. I can't. They're crazy. But then we have our next collab stream with one of her gen mates, Mashiro. Mashiro, where they answer a bunch of questions, and they go, yeah, mixing an upper with a downer is a bad idea. Please don't try it at home, because it got me drunker as a skunk, basically. Fun fact, by the way, side tangent. My buddy Austin, who is in Japan now at following Pokemon Worlds, sends me a picture this morning of a can of alcohol.
He said that to me as well.
Because he's the GOAT. He
Oh
said,
my-
he said, and I quote, I can understand why people get shit-faced off this, because you can't really taste the alcohol content. You just taste a bit of sweet lemon. We learned that, not Red Bull, but, what is it, like Red Bird? Or something like that, gives her wings. And I love the actual, like, real world image of what is likely Red Bull mixed with like Zero. Like, I love that it's just actually just a straight up shot, and it just says, "Please don't try this at home. Shua-chan is not a normal human being." To which Shua introduces her own idea of, "Let's look at all my hentai art with some selective censoring, which fits the bit." And then finally, manager San calls and goes, "Hey, Shua-chan, so here's the deal. You're not gonna believe this, but your kohai wants to collab with you." And then literally gets a DM that is like a thesis paper long, saying of how she adores her and loves her and would love to work with her on something. So because she is a simp for the fans, she does agree to do this collab. To which she goes, "Listen, I've analyzed the exact moment as to which your character was born, and we're going to watch that." And she's like, "I can't do that. I promised Sei-chan I'd do that." And Sei goes, "I'm kind of into NTR though." And so they watch her original stuff back, and she cringes. But yeah, this episode was just so fucking hilarious. And then the end fucking video is a cover of one of the new gen mates, the I'm Baby gen mate, whatever her name is, Keiru, I think it was Keiru.
I have no idea.
Keiru. But it's her doing a cover. But can we talk about the fact that her drawing, like screen, is a fucking etch-a-sketch?
Mm-hmm.
A good bit.
That's a great touch.
Very good bit.
This show, I give it so much credit. It's done its homework on VTubers. I applaud that. Because, God, this show is just kind of like one giant VTuber shitpost. In all the right ways for me, at least. It hits all the buttons. This episode is so fucking hilarious to me.
It's very funny. That's why it's up so high for me this week.
I'm surprised it's up that high with the lewds, Mason.
The lewds were done in a way where, yeah, I didn't like the bit,
But it's
but also it makes sense. Like, that's a VTuber bit.
That's something they would do.
Yeah.
Censoring it with myself. That's a very volatile censorship bar.
That's
I love-
a bold move, Cotton.
I do also, what gets me through that scene is Mashiro the entire time being like, I hate this so much. Also, man,
I love
that's
Mashiro
really
so
good
much.
art.
Also, like, that artist is so good. Why did they do this art of you?
Like, wait, that's that art? Huh?
Nani? Sean, why do you hate this
Yeah,
show?
so let's talk about
Why are you
this. So firstly, I want to express, because John, you weren't here for me talking about Suicide Squad. The difference between this and how I feel about Suicide Squad is immense this week. I did not like Suicide Squad for basically every reason you touched on. So I'm really happy that
But
you
he was
talked.
a lot. But he was a lot more down on it of all the things you said.
And also, like, in general, I think outside of the dragon fight, the animation quality for that episode is dog shit. Like actually made me mad how bad it was, coming from Wit. I think this show is fine. I recognize I'm not its target audience, but also I think this is its
Spoiler,
worst
I am.
episode. I legitimately laughed at, I think, 2 bits the entire episode. The NTR bit, and the baby bit only when I watched the dub. Because I went back and replayed the dub, and the line delivery on her saying, on her, what is it exactly, Michael?
Baby.
Yeah, that line delivery is good, but here's the problem. That line delivery's good. The bit's still bad. I didn't laugh because the bit's funny. I laughed because the line delivery kills it. I'm going to talk about these 3 characters because they're the large meat of the episode. I'm going to start with Baby. I hate this character archetype.
Oh yeah, no.
Perhaps my
Absolutely.
least favorite thing, very strongly out there. There's a Kill Blue character who's not this bad, but is in the same vein of the character, and they're my least favorite character in Kill Blue. And the best part about it is that character in Kill Blue combines an element of another one of these VTubers as well, because they're a massive stalker. I cannot stand Alice as a character. I think everything here, I think the stalker element and like the superfan element completely outweighs any comedy bit they can throw me for the character. I do not like them. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't want to be here. On top of that, they facilitate the end of this episode, which is essentially a recap. I could care jack all about the last third of this episode because it's just recapping the first episode, which I enjoyed more thoroughly the first time. where the bits were funny and fresh and I got to experience it, I don't particularly care to see her cringe at it. In fact, considering the person it's coming from presenting it, it makes me uncomfortable. And that may be the point, but I just don't enjoy it. And then we have the zoo one, which kind of brings it all home. The humor we largely get in this episode, I'm just not a fan of anymore. Like, the we are being vulgar, we are being crass, we're just throwing all the shit to the wall because we're unhinged and that's what we do. It's not, I get that this captures an element of VTubing. I think it's super honed in on that particular one element that it's grained on me now. That, like, it's, like, I don't care for every gooning bit. I didn't think the vulva bit was funny. I thought it was, like, it's grained on me that much that, like, I'm almost desensitized to it completely, where it doesn't get the laugh out of me anymore. So it's like, I can respect that this show does what it's doing, and it captures, like, it captures a niche community incredibly well. I just hate all 3 characters they bring in this episode, and I hate 2/3 of the episodes. And even then, the last bit of it, being the NSFW stuff, is fine. If I'm being honest with you, I would rather just have not had it, because that's not what I watch anime for. So it's like, I get the purpose it serves in the overall context, but, like, I would rather, respectfully, I would rather be watching a show that is entirely catered to that than have it in my show where it is just brought in to be brought in, right? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, I would rather have just full signed up or be tortured against my will to experience it than just have it be brought in here because it's weird. Like, it's not what I want from the episode, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not gonna be a person who bashes that thing because I don't particularly give a fuck about not safe for work stuff. It's just that, like, you limit where I can watch this show. I have to be, like, I don't watch this show on my lunch break. I know not to watch this show on my lunch break.
At work.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, but again, I'm not gonna hold that either. For me, it really is just a matter of, I enjoy every other show more. I'm more invested in every other show, with the caveat of Suicide Squad. It would be great if this show does something next week that turns my favor of it around, if the bits are fresh and I really laugh at it. And I do not think it's a sub-dub difference, because I did watch it sub. I went back and watched the major portions of it dubbed, and again, literally just that one-line delivery was what killed it for me. And I'm gonna be honest, most of the time I don't really like the main character's voice in the dub comparatively. Like, when she's in her softer tone, I actually prefer the sub for her. It's tricky. Like, so for me, like, it's just completely out of my wheelhouse. I would just much rather be watching everything else.
And that's fair.
No, that's fair. It's definitely something that's, like, if you are immersed in VTubing and, like, you've seen a bunch of it, a lot of it just makes sense is how I describe it. Like, I'm not even the biggest VTuber fan myself. I've watched a couple of them from time to time, but for the most part, I stick to just normie content.
I think I largely stray away from the community at large because I know it's not my comedy. Like, like I know that there is a decent large comedy focus on the content and personality from the content, and, like, that is not the general thing I vibe with. So, like, that's why I avoid it outside, and that's why, like, here I just don't think it hits. And to go with what Michael has said about a couple of shows before, for me, this is the comedy show that missed it this week. Every other comedy show fucking killed it, and this is the one where I sat there and I was like, here we are. And so, like, it didn't make me laugh. It goes towards the bottom of the list this week.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, after we
Now,
Sean and watched
why
up,
he's absolutely fucking wrong.
I gave you plenty of time to do that beforehand.
I don't think he's wrong.
No, I'm kidding.
Because
He's not.
So the big thing is, I think the bits with these characters work this episode. After Sean said like these character, my brain was like, no, these character archetypes are kind of annoying, and legitimately, if the baby shows up again, I think I'm gonna hate that segment.
Yep.
Because I don't think I think they've already outlived the funny that comes from that character. Maybe we'll get good bits from them. Who knows? But I think that archetype it's not gonna work past a single bit. Same with I don't want to see Alice again. I'd be fine seeing the elf again. I think we can get stuff with the elf.
I really hope for this show's sake
learn.
they are taking the direction of Alice's character somewhere that's going to teach an important lesson down the road.
We do
That's
also
what I
get
really
a
hope they do.
Yeah, we get a single thing from Alice that I liked. That was the like when they're like watching the thing, Awayuki goes, "I really don't want to do this," and Alice goes, "Sorry, if you're uncomfortable, we can stop. I'm really like." She has like an actual like moment where she's like sorry about it, and I'm like, "That's good. I like that. Give me her doing that. Give me her
Good.
being
It
a
is
person."
partially just a bit, but also partially fandom. Good.
Like that was like one of my favorite things that came out of Alice.
Like realistically,
I think the fucking college thesis bit was funny for the bit that it's on screen. I didn't care what's in it. It doesn't matter what's in it. It's just a funny bit.
I think the problem to me is that I know real people who have dealt with people like this, and when you get that wall of text, it's not funny. Right?
Yeah,
like
that's
that
fair.
is actually
Sure.
like the real reaction you have in that moment is oh, and you leave because like no. So like it's tricky. Like it's not something that like for me I'm not invested enough to be like I want to see where they take this character that I don't like. And I hope they address it. I do still hope they address it well. That would be the ideal end goal for that kind of character. And it sucks because I actually really dig Alice's design. I think her design is the coolest of the three of them. I think a lot of the other stuff she has surrounding her, being an idol, like being a college student, is all really interesting, and it all just gets completely overshadowed. And ideally, that would be what you do: is you would dig the character out of their hyperfixation on her and let her be her own person. And obviously, I imagine that's what the VTuber company wants to happen if they actually gave her the contract. Like, I'm sure that's their end goal, is to get her to actually be a person.
Be a human being.
Yeah. And that's why the show dropped to like 4 for me this week, because I was like, I do like these bits, but yeah, going forward, these 3 characters are gonna have to do a lot to make their bits work.
Sure. For me, the biggest thing is like this reminded me of just like watching. It's a very relatable to watching content from like the V Shoujo, like more like laissez-faire type of groups as opposed to like Hololive, right?
Yeah,
Like,
this is a lot like Idol
a lot more
and
hands-off
V Shoujo.
here.
They're fucking goobers.
These guys are all just demented.
But yeah, what I'll say, my last comment is like, I actually like some of the other older gym members because they're a little like I know we had the funny graphic where it shows
I love
that like
Harudu.
where it
Harudu's wonderful.
like they have the funny graphic where it's like yeah we're actually all unhinged, but I actually think there's a good chunk of them who are kind of not unhinged and are enjoyable to be around. Like, so in that regard, like I actually kind of wish we spent more time with the other group because I think they're just better characters too.
Sure.
And they feel like they encapture a different part of the VTubing sphere that has different jokes in it than a lot of the ones that come this episode that I feel worn down on.
This is like Ultra Gooner episode. Like it's crazy what this episode pushes. But yeah, like legit, like Harudu's my favorite of their members. Her playing fucking Vice Schwartz and getting enraging at it. One of my favorite bits to show
Was that this episode?
That's last
That
episode.
was last episode.
Okay.
I would like this episode more if it had Y Schwartz in it.
I thought that was last episode.
Yeah, no, it just
But, yeah.
Harudu's not in this episode.
I
don't think.
Nope.
no. No, not.
Basically-
I think it's just
Definitely
it's
not directly.
Awayuki, Machidon, and then the 3 new ones.
And then the rest.
Basin, do you want to talk about Elusive Samurai?
Yeah, so Elusive Samurai this week, we started off with finishing out the dog shooting competition, where basically it ends exactly how you would predict with this situation, which is Takayuki
Gets crazy with it.
goes crazy and just as opposed to having a blind spot, simply doesn't and swings his full body around and hits Sadamune in the throat and then in the head.
It's crazy that a throat shot is only 2 points. What the fuck is wrong with you? That shot's insane.
Right.
A harder target, arguably.
It's especially good because the shot that he makes on the head is in the ear, right where he shot the shrine maiden.
Which is very good. I didn't catch it when it happened, but the follow-up for it was very good. I
Yeah,
really
he hits
like
him with it.
I really like how the show addresses my concern, which was, can you have him win and still make this guy a villain? And it goes, yeah, because he's not going to abide by his own rules, idiot. I'm like, fair, you know what? Sure. That's completely understandable, actually.
Yeah,
The guy on a
so,
power trip goes, fuck you.
Yep, exactly. So as opposed to following the agreement, he just goes, "Ha, no, I'm not."
Executive
doing
order.
that. Imperial command. I am allowed to search these premises whenever I want.
It's not even that. He's taking the Imperial command to gain part of the
The
territory.
land.
Yeah.
He's slowly taking more, and then that way he will get to search it.
Yeah. So what Yoshige suggests is for Takayuki and his gang to go recruit a known thief named Gemba, who we see throughout the episode for a little bit. We also find that he can turn into people. So we see him turning into people with his magic mask, and he gets some information out of Yoshige without him realizing. We then get him running into Takayuki and going, or Tokiyuki, sorry, not Takayuki, Tokiyuki, and going, hey, so what you're going to do is you're going to pay me to not go run to Sadamune and tell him who you are, and then if you want me to actually do the job for you, you're going to pay me again. And Tokiyuki goes, oh man, you just want money? Oh, you're so selfless. I could have given you a territory, dude. You're such a good guy. He goes,
Oh man, you're the goat.
He goes, damn it. I didn't think about that. Okay. Fine. I'll help you out. And he goes, but if I'm going to do this, Tokiyuki, you're coming with me, because what is a leader if they can't do it themselves? So they go to raid Sadamune's place to steal this Imperial command because the Emperor is tied up at the moment because, it's a new empire and there's a lot of people asking for stuff. So at the very least, if they steal the Imperial command, it's going to take a while before anyone notices. At least higher up the food chain. They infiltrate this place. Gemba turns into one of the guards, or turns into Sadamune and gets the guards to leave. And then when they're in this warehouse that has the Imperial command, he kind of taunts Tokiyuki for a bit and turns into him and goes, well, like, what if I just ratted you out and then I took over your place? What would you do then? While this is happening, one of Sadamune's higher up henchmen, it seems, looks like he's asleep, but he's actually got really sensitive hearing and can hear these two arguing in the warehouse from 3 buildings away. He goes, man, it sucks. I'm gonna have to kill some kids today. And that's how we have to end.
Yeah.
And that's how we end the
Man,
end.
think
So
of it. Murder some children.
This is a rat into this episode.
it's really good.
We also get the conversation between Gemba's dying father and him. Sorry, I'm gonna fuck this up every once in a while. It's Gemma, right?
Genma.
Is it Genma, not Gemba?
I thought it was Genma.
I always thought it was Genba. I'll be honest. Shit.
We're seeing if Discord explodes. Diving into the Annie list
Wasn't me
of
this
character
time.
names.
It is Genba. Okay.
Thought so, because
So,
he's
yeah. Well, so
it's-
the problem is that this is a character name that gets interchanged, same. They use
fine.
the same idea, and they sometimes just swap it to Gemma. So I wasn't sure which one it was. But yeah, I really like Gemba. I think he's super rad. A lot of the
Who's
best
that?
moments from this episode come from him. The interaction where he fucking kicks the stick, bounces off of the stick, clears over the wall, is sick as hell, and then he throws the rope to Tokuyuki, and he looks at it, and he goes, "This is rad as fuck," and his eyes light up, and Gemba goes, "What the fuck is wrong with this kid?" And I love it. Equally, we get the scene where he is disguised as Sadamune, and the guard goes, "My lord, those are some cute bunny ears you have. Why are you wearing them?" And he goes, "Do they not make me look cute?" And the guard goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Good." And that bit is hysterical. I love that bit.
So good.
Sometimes I want to look cute, damn it! Now go look at the fucking nails in the wall! It was great.
Yeah. And they do little tease when Suwa sends Tokiyuki to go get Gemba. They do the tease where you see that he is disguised as the one retainer. Because you get the shot of the ears just a little in frame.
It's really good.
It's very good.
Because
Because you could miss it, but they do frame it in a way where it's hard to miss. You have to not be paying attention.
Because it's the only bit of color that's different in that scene. It's not like a washout like brown or
and they
blue.
focus on it.
Huh, that's kind of weird.
And they focus on it where like they go back to Sua's face where he's like, because he clearly knows.
Yeah.
Like he's setting it up because of course he is. He can see the future.
He's cheating. Excuse me, he's cheating. He's got walls. Yeah, I thought this episode was pretty good. I put it a little bit lowly just because I liked a lot of the other shows this week. As nothing against Elusive Samurai, I just wasn't as interested in like kind of where it's going from here. But yeah, I like the new characters are good. I like Gemba as well. I hope he is not a little twerp who's gonna betray him for money, which I don't think he will be. But I mean, he is that type, and they have that flashback where it's like, don't do anything if it's not for the money. So we'll see. But
Yeah, look how good that money look how good that money did his dad.
it's the Mets, baby. Let's go Mets. Come on, here we go Mets. Let's go Mets.
Michael, you got thoughts?
Yeah, so first half of this episode is fine. I think that the dog, whatever fuck the archery battle is fine. I do like the him doing the fucking crazy upside down lean over acrobatic shot. That was rad. I think it's crazy that was worth only 2 points. That's fucking stupid. Cause that, yeah. Oh, my internet's gone.
Oh,
You're still here.
Oh, we can hear you.
Oh, it's the same thing that happened to me.
Oh no, it's coming for each of us.
Oh god, it's
Death-
infected.
Oh,
Death
no.
slowly creeps. Michael.
He's still moving.
Here we see the Michael in his natural habitat.
Yeah, we had
Confused
you.
and
We had you
confounded
for a
by
while.
Certain variables have occurred.
We had you for a little bit too.
Was my webcam dead or was my?
No, it was.
No, your webcam was still going.
and your mic was still active. We could hear and see you.
That's funny.
He's going
Oh.
to solve it.
He muted.
Dude, what is up? Is it a Discord thing that like? Why does the internet break but it doesn't break? That's so confusing. I guess we'll find out Michael's thoughts on it when he gets back. But yeah, no, he is elusive and he is a samurai. Not a very strong samurai, but he is a samurai.
Did we talk last week about them naming the group? I feel like we
A
did.
little bit.
Did they name the group
Oh.
last week?
They named the
Yeah,
group
yeah,
last week in the
it's-
hot spring after they
Oh,
killed
that's
the
right,
boar.
Because they mentioned it this week. Like, yes, your group is going to be this. You must prove that it is this.
You are the elusive warriors. Not quite the title drop.
Well, he's a member of. He's the elusive samurai of the elusive
Yeah.
warriors. See.
We got 2 shows left. We will get through them.
At some point, internets will work.
Barring my internet holding through, we will get through it.
I have.
'Cause that's never had issues
8
before.
hours. I haven't
Your internet's never had
8
issues.
hours.
That's not good. I got 4 hours of sleep last night.
Oh.
Be up for 8 more hours.
I guess right now while we wait, John, when's the next Running Button stream?
Hopefully tonight is the plan, but we'll see.
Well, there you go, guys. In the description right
I
now.
cooked-
Actually, let
I
me
cooked pretty
grab
hard.
it.
I cooked some stuff pretty hard. I gotta go get a rare candy. I have the worst core fish ever. On
Oh,
Sean,
there he goes.
Are you ready for these Corefish IVs?
Yeah, hit me with him.
So its highest stat is 26
Oh,
in
he's
defense.
back.
Back.
We could hear you that whole time as well. You had the
That's-
same thing as John.
That's so awesome.
I
So
love
then I
it.
guess it turned off the moment I actually physically unplugged my thing. Alright, so I have this fun screech. But yeah. Yeah, absolutely should have gotten more points for that. Fucking behind the back, in the head. That wasn't worth 2 points. Stupid as shit. Whatever. Why would
We were filling time, so I had to send that to Sean because I didn't get to finish my sentence. That's okay.
Wait, second, Genpo's wonderful. I think everything we get with him is wonderful. I think we're gonna get some good stuff with him because, as we said, not always about the money. Sometimes it's about the Mets, baby. Love the Mets. Let's go Mets, hit a home run.
Let's go Mets, baby. Here we go, Mets. Come on, let's go hit a home run. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah, the Mets.
But with that, it is time to talk about Michael.
Holy shit. Yeah, it is me. It's Makeine too many losing heroines.
Too many.
There are
I think
too
not
many of
enough.
them.
I don't
There's
like
like-
enough.
Well,
Perhaps
yeah,
we're
you
getting
might get-
more.
Maybe.
Maybe
We're gonna
not.
have all of the losers. Everyone loses. There's no winners ever. This is-
This episode starts in his house.
It does, yeah. Yeah, so he gets home. His house is like a really nice house. It's crazy.
And they might live alone. Do
They
they
probably
have parents?
I sure hope they have parents. You know what? There's a chance. But yeah, so he gets home. His sister comes. His sister is like, "Oh my god, blah 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 blah. This person, blah blah blah, interview." And he goes, "Okay, anyway, that's weird." Looks down. That's a pair of shoes. Oh no.
His sister does certainly sound like Courage the Cowardly Dog for a minute.
She has the same. She enters the same mode that the girl from Hyoka enters, where she just just zooms in, hyperfixation. She's curious.
Yeah, I should bring up Katie, but I'm scared it's gonna cause Discord to
Anna.
explode again.
Anna.
Yeah, Anna shows up.
Yeah,
She's in the kitchen. She's eating curry because it's their leftover curry from last night. And she goes, "Hey, want some somen noodles?" He goes, "No, not particularly. Why do you have so many somen noodles?" "Well, you know, my father's salary got paid, or his last month's pay got paid in somen noodles." "What the fuck do you mean it got paid in somen noodles?" "It got paid in somen noodles. I have eaten so many somen noodles. It fucking killed me. It's such a dumb bit,
And then,
but I love it."
then they get called to the club office. Is the
Yeah.
entire table filled with boxes of somen noodles?
Probably.
Or what are those boxes? They're just there. I couldn't tell.
boxes.
They just have shit tons of boxes.
Yes, and now they go to the club room and they're like, and they go, "Hey, so the student council wants us to report on things we did over summer vacation, outside like the stuff we did at the camp. So like, yeah, you guys gotta do something. You guys gotta make something new, or expand the thing you were doing, post it somewhere, whatever." They go, "Okay." They all talk about like what they're gonna do, like what their next. It's like the president or vice president goes, "I'm gonna continue my fucking Dazai, whoever the fuck, Smutfest, whatever that's supposed to be." He's like, "Yeah, Nukumizu's like, I'll continue my thing. Lemon's not there. She's off doing track things." Wait, they're all doing. Komari's like, "I'm gonna write something new," and she does this by putting something on her phone. Then in the background of the next scene, shakes her phone back and forth, side to side. And she's adorable. I love it.
Gremlin.
And then we learned Komari's actually like a really like her current thing that she's writing is like a really popular thing on this light novel reading service. She's like number 8 popularity, like in the what's hot right now thing.
And growing.
And so with her like with her fucking shitty isekai thing that she's writing, probably good isekai. It's still isekai trash.
There that are references to other shows.
She's currently writing the Toria's Talker.
I didn't.
There's
Yeah.
like a Kage reference on there as well.
She
Oh, it's so good.
But yeah,
she gets huge serotonin boosts from seeing people like her work, which is
Yeah.
very good.
yeah, very very happy for her. Very happy to see Kamari have good things happening.
Speaking of,
Second of the episode.
well, no, before that, she also
uh,
talks about her relationship with Lemon.
Oh yeah. She also, yeah, her and Lemon go running every once in a while. She's like, hey, goes, hey, do you know, does Lemon have a brother? Because she wants to date Lemon but can't be gay. That's not allowed in her mind. So she needs to date Lemon's brother, who probably doesn't exist.
Probably
She's my
not.
favorite bisexual character. She's wonderful. Those two are gonna have a victory, maybe, possibly. Who knows? Anyway, the rest of the episode. So, I don't remember the exact order of how these events happen.
So he
but-
shows up to Nukamizu in the hallway with the bracelet first,
Yeah.
which
yeah,
may or may not be. We'll talk about this
Yeah,
because
so our guy, I don't remember his name. The person who originally Lemon was going after. Him. He
Ayano. Mitsuki
That's-
Ayano.
that sounds
Yeah,
right.
That is, yeah.
Yeah.
Mitsuki
He shows up
Ayano.
and he's like, hey, something. Chihaya gave me this bracelet. She said never take it off. It's a friendship or something, not friendship bracelet because that would be not what they whatever. And he goes, okay, that's okay, whatever. And I don't remember
That
why
happened. That happens before the Kamari bit because he then He then Nukamizu comes in and goes, he was just kind of showing off, and then Kamari shows up about her novel, and then he walks in on Lemon changing.
Yeah, and then it walks in on Lemon changing. But that seems whatever. It's literally just he shows up, and it's what happens when a high school boy sees a girl wearing anything other than full clothing. It's like
Yeah, and he sees
whatever.
Lemon.
That seems fine.
He sees Lemon
Whatever.
leave, looking very excited.
Hurriedly, she's like, hee hee.
He goes home. His
and then-
sister roasts him more. And then we get to the greatest scene of all time, Michael.
So I completely forgot about the interview that happens with Anna earlier because I was talking so much about somen noodles. But yeah. So is the next thing not just him and Anna going to
Yes.
watch them?
Well, no, because Anna
yeah.
invites him out to tea to talk about her get
Yeah.
together with her friends, including
Yeah. Yeah. And then on his way, his sister goes, so that's a date. He goes, that's not a date. That could never be a date. It's just friends hanging out. He's on the train. It's absolutely a date. Holy shit! Does she know what she's doing?
He enters
Might
the
be on a
Chad
date.
mode.
But yeah, we got a good bit of them on the train. And they're going out, and then while they're
God,
if they do
don't
this, then is it then another day? Is it just later this day? They see Lemon and Ayano doing stuff.
It's while they see them while they're getting tea.
They
Oh
see
yeah,
them
they see
while
the
they're-
through the window. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they go. They're like, we gotta. I don't remember if I think they're just kind of existing after that. But
Anna
then they
wants to follow. Nukamizu does it, and then they get blinded by the sun.
And Chihaya shows up, the person currently dating Ayano. And she's like, hey, I'm following these two. And she goes, I think Ayano might be cheating on me. It's crazy. Crazy thing to immediately just call out. Because Ayano wants to kind of follow, see what's happening with Ayano. Chihaya wants to follow what's happening with Ayano and Lemon, because she's like, I know Lemon likes him. And I know they've been friends forever. And I don't want to steal him away from her. So they kind of sit there and follow them. Anna gets separated from the group at some point. And Chihaya and Nukamizu get caught watching the two of them. They're in a store or whatever. Okay, we have a bunch of silly bits. Chihaya's a fucking Mongol. She's fucking crazy. She's absolutely nuts. She shows that she has a GPS. That's how she knows where they are. Which definitely isn't the bracelet
It's
she
the
gave him. We
bracelet.
swear, it's definitely it's the bracelet.
I don't know if you tuned into that. It's definitely the bracelet.
You mentioned, you said the word GPS, and I went, oh, that's absolutely the bracelet when you were
Yeah.
watching it.
Yeah.
Because my brain had forgotten about the bracelet by that point, because so many other things
I
had
did
happened
too.
in the episode.
It's a one-off thrown thing they give you, but they absolutely give it to you for a reason.
Yeah. It's Chekhov's bracelet.
And I also think Nukamizu knows. because when she pulls out the GPS device, he goes, "So that's," and he he starts to react but cuts himself off. I think he knows.
Yeah. And then it all ends with like they get caught. And then Chihaya and Nukumizu are in a changing room together, trying to hide from them. Ayano opens it and goes, "What the fuck are you two doing together?" And Chihaya goes, "Well, I elect Nukumizu to answer these questions or to tell you the whole story." And until we're cut off for that episode.
Other bit we get in this episode that's fucking hilarious is they go back to his room with Chihaya, and they talk about his fucking weeb cloth naked, semi-naked girls tapestry, and Anna's like, "This is really neat art," and Chihaya's like, "You don't bring attention to it. Never bring attention to a boy's scantily clad woman's tapestry." And Nukumizu's like, "No, I promise you it's a magical girl show. It makes sense, I promise." And Anna's like, "But why are they naked on a bed?" And his sister comes in and is like, "Well, you see," and she spoils the goddamn manga for him. I love this show.
Very good.
Sorry, Michael.
Yeah,
talk about your feelings.
Yeah. Oh, this show's great. I love these characters. There was one scene that there's an entire scene I completely forgot because I didn't want to think about it. There is a scene where Nukumizu gives water to the zombie member of the student council. Legitimately leads to nothing outside of there's a tit shot during it. That's why I forgot it happened and I didn't want to think about it. Now I had to think about it. I'm mad. But yeah, outside of that, this episode's great. I love these characters. Chihaya was such a fun introduction. I never thought we were gonna get more of Chihaya. I thought like Ayano and Chihaya were like pretty done with them. We might get like a little bit more with Ayano like we did with guy I don't remember the name of for Anna. I don't care to know his name.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think we have to get. I'm really interested in the stuff that's happening with Lemon and Ayano right now, because like, I don't think we're gonna have a switch there. We might. Ayano and Lemon might start going out. That might become a thing. That'd be really sick if that happened.
So I think
Chihaya's being really fucking weird right now.
Yes, I think
it's a weird thing. Yeah.
I think the interesting thing is how Nukumizu decides to spend this, because I think a lot of it is in his power on how he wants to elaborate on quite literally, if he tells this story as, "We bumped into Chihaya and we saw you and Lemon together and we were just curious what was going on. It got the best of us. We're sorry." If he's like, "Chihaya thinks you're cheating, so we tracked you down with her GPS," we're gonna have problems, right? You have to... Because realistically, I think Nukumizu probably sees everything Chihaya's doing as innocent. It's weird, it's odd, but I think from how she's interacted with him, he probably doesn't think she means any harm. In fact, he seems supportive of her relationship with him. I think it's a red herring. I don't think there's anything going on with him and Lemon. I think Lemon's just happy to be spending time with him, and I think they're probably, like, gift shopping for her, and I think maybe Lemon's gift shopping for Nukumizu. And that's why no one knows about it.
I mean, I think it's just like he's going around to these places with Lemon, who's still his friend, because he's just saying, "Hey, I need a girl's opinion, and you like sweets, on what places would be good to take my girlfriend, because I don't like sweets, so I need someone who likes sweets to get an idea of what's actually a good place to go." That's basically what it's gonna be. But it's just interesting to see the characters kind of go through this point. But yeah, I really like this episode. I love the characters still. I for one love his girlfriend being like, "I think he's cheating on me," with like the mask and like the glasses and everything. And it's just like
she got that big forehead.
And she got the fucking 5 head. Yeah.
There was something so funny about them running into her in the second bit after they'd run into her the first time, and the second time she has a patch on her forehead
to block
cover the glare.
I also think Nukumizu is currently carrying Anna's bag. I think she handed his bag off to her and he just absconded with it after her, which is really funny. Also, Anna losing her shit in that diner is phenomenal.
Oh, yes. Fucking
that
wonderful.
Poor waitress. You also just, you get really nice small characterizations of characters in this show. Like, she explains how the noodles, how the noodles affect her diet, and in his mind Nukabe's just like, yeah, I fucking know this, idiot, why don't you? And it just shows that he's a big old nerd. And I love that for him. We also run back to the gag about the fucking drinking faucets again before he
I
bumps
fucking
into
love
the
that
student
bit.
council. Unfortunately, it's tied to the student council member,
Yeah.
but I think that scene's fine just because nothing comes out of it. Like, he has no real reaction to her. Like, he has some, but, like, it's just him being him. I don't know. I love this show.
It's just that the scene's literally there. It doesn't feel like anything was out of it outside of there being a tit shot, which pisses me off. It's legitimately a minute of wasted animation, in my opinion, outside of he drinks some water, which could have just led to him walking to the council room. That thing didn't need to happen before that. Like, I don't know. It just felt like wasted time in the episode because nothing happened. Unless this leads to something next episode where she's like, no, he gave me water, they're chill though. Which maybe it will.
I mean,
So it doesn't feel like that's gonna happen.
They also have moments where they have, like, other students react to him giving her the water, like her drinking the water from him, so they could build something out of that, but
Rumors for Nukambizu is already a bit we've done. Which is why it's also a weird thing to have. Like, I don't know, maybe we're just gonna push more into people spreading rumors about the guy who doesn't talk to anyone.
he is also hanging out with a lot of girls.
I mean, that is honestly a good bit of the guy that doesn't talk to anyone is seen talking to all of these really popular girls. What the fuck is happening?
We get
it's a really popular girl,
Well,
Komari, who probably also speaks to no one.
well, but there's
I mean,
And
Lemon's
Lemon
probably
exists.
pretty popular
Lemon,
too, you'd imagine as
and
well.
there's the student council person now.
Yeah.
they're building enough, I think, that, like, it's... I really like the line where Chihaya's like, you know, you're not that bad of a guy. I kind of thought you were, like, a weird guy. Like,
You're actually just nice.
I misunderstood you. And he's like, everybody does. And I'm like, my man, it'll get better one day, I promise.
It is genuinely, I think, one of my favorite things about this show is the fact that he is actively trying to not be the main character in an anime the entire time and is just failing miserably at it.
Things we haven't talked about yet. This show has a new ED this episode. It kicks in this episode. My theory is we're gonna have a new ED every 4 because we had 4. Now we're in the next set of 4. We'll be in the last set of 4, and we'll have an ED for each. Alya's had new EDs every episode. We realized this week.
Mm-hmm.
We being me, Michael, and Mason, we went, this wasn't the ED for Alya. Last week, was it? And then we went through and we went, oh my god, it's been different every week. What the fuck is wrong with these shows?
So I want to go check what the ED was for the first 4 to see it, of Makeine, to see if it is like super Anna focused.
It seems kind of Anna focused because it focuses
might
on
be
like it focuses on like the school building, like the scaffolding where they eat the rooftop.
Yeah, because it could be like that was the Anna section, and we're gonna have 4 for Lemon.
But I
then we're
think
gonna have Komari to end it.
I think they
or something
have
like that.
everybody in it in the ED from what I remember.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Yeah,
know.
this one's literally just Lemon and INO.
But it's time to get into our last show, Pseudo Harem. This week on Pseudo Harem, we are introduced to Vin's younger sister. Her name.
Aya, I think.
Yeah, Aya. It's
Her name's like actually. It's like
Ayaka, but
Ayaka.
they call her Aya. Yeah.
Yeah, call her Aya.
Aya's adorable. Eiji's just kind of messing around, you know, occupying her, and Ren's like, "Thank you for playing with my sister. It was nice of you." And then Eiji goes, "Hey, do you know your sister has schizophrenia?" And Ren goes, "Don't make me do this." And he goes, "But you're not saying no." And she gives in and does the cool charm bit. And her sister's like, "This is fun." And her sister goes, "Did you know my sister's lazy?" And he goes, "Oh, really?" And she goes,
A new character.
And she goes, "No, we're not doing this here." And we get the OP roll. And then when we cut back, she does the lazy charm bit where she fucking falls flat onto the sofa like we all love to do. And she refuses to do anything until until someone gives in to her demands. So she gets her tea, makes him call her cute. He doesn't understand how this is happening, and we get a good bit where she overheats, and he goes, "Wow, she's really staying in character." And then it's time for summer vacation, and so Eiji goes, "Rin, what are your plans for summer vacation?" And then he goes, I don't have any plans. And Eiji goes, "What the fuck? That's so sad. I guess we're gonna have to hang out at some time." And she gets very excited. And then we smash cut into a fireworks festival. To the point where I thought this was like Rin's hallucination of them at a fireworks festival together, but no, they're at a fireworks festival. And they get separated from the rest of the club. And Rin tries her absolute hardest to not let them meet back up. And so some antics ensue. We close out with a really good bit where Eiji is wearing a mask from a show that Rin's younger sister watches, and he does a bit from the episode. She goes, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" Once again solidifying this man's kind of a dweeb, and I kind of love him for it.
It gives us something about him. I like that. Give him a personality.
He's a goofy boy. And then they go to the pool, because Aya wanted to go to the pool. Aya's friend Moe is here. Aya goes, "Okay, you're gonna throw us in the pool," and Eiji goes, "Hell yeah, I'm gonna throw you in the pool. We're gonna cause mayhem." And Ren goes, "Please be an adult." And he goes, "Whatever you say, boss." And then Eiji is like, "You are being really mature right now, Ren." And Ren decides to do a bit where she's like, "Okay, put sunscreen on my shoulder," and then they both overheat. And then Eiji talks Ren into letting the kids fuck around in the pool, and it's a big old win. He gets permission from the boss. And then Eiji has to escape the kids because he's been doing the butterfly stroke for 10 minutes. And so the kids try to find him, and they come on up, and Ren goes, No. Your Oni-chan? He's dead. He's turned into water, evaporated. You've killed him." And so her sister goes and picks up water in her hands, and it starts to fall out. And she goes, "That right there, that's his nose. I'm gonna need you two to go play on your own. I'm gonna put him back together." Fucking traumatizing kids for the lol W's. Eiji then compliments her on her outfit. They do a weird sister bit. He then acknowledges it's a weird sister bit, and it makes him uncomfortable. I'm really glad we got this. And then Ren goes on... Oh, and at this point we introduce the Lazy-chan vlogs, where her sister shows off a little bit about how lazy she is, and we get some good bits. We get 3 of these. One of these is in the after-credit scene. Ren then goes on vacation and sends videos somehow to Eiji, despite being in the boonies. I don't know how those videos load, but they sure do get to him. It's cute. They run some bits with each other. And then we cut to Aya meeting a childhood friend over there, who's a boy who just wants to catch bugs, but he gets bullied into going into the beach, because Aya runs the same bits she's now seen her sister do. And this boy is helpless. And he then goes and runs on the sea for a while. He just runs on the sea. Also, there's this ramen flavored ice cream. How does that work? We don't understand. What is it?
Right.
We get a bit where I think earlier where Ren is vibing in her house with her sister and her friend, and she's talking about the aftermath of the pool. And her friend's like, "You just need to ask this boy out on an actual fucking date because you don't consider any of this dates." And Ren goes, "I can't do that." And her friend goes, "But can Cool-chan do this?" And I think this bit's really funny. I think it's really nice to have another character be like, "What about that weird thing you do for him? What if you switch your personality like you do for him? I'm sure he'll go on a date with you." And she's like, "I can't do that." And she goes, "But I can make my sister do it for me." And Aya volunteers because it lets her get spoiled. I think that is the end of the episode. It is important to note that we are on.
We get another bit. But we get
What's the other bit we get?
We get the third of the
other Lazy-chan bit. Okay.
That happens after. But yeah.
It's important to note that we are on their second summer vacation now, because earlier in the show, they did the bit where they were on summer vacation and Ren was calling him on the phone because she missed him, which means that when we get back from this episode, he's gonna be in his last year of school, which is crazy pacing for this show.
If I remember how Japanese school works, that means he's already in his third year. Summer vacation's halfway through their terms, because their terms
Yeah.
start at the start of the year.
Yeah, so he is in his 3rd year.
I think.
Because he was
Again, it might
already...
be me being super fucking wrong about how Japanese school works.
He was already... Either way, he's either in or... And with the way this show works, he's very close to the end of his high school. Because she was a first year, he was a second year. They go up a year, and now they are either going up a year again. I guess they wouldn't be. So yeah, they would be getting close.
Yeah, no matter what, he's in his 3rd year at this point. Yeah.
So that is wild. I am interested. Also, I just think this show is... I like this show. It's comfy, it's cozy, I enjoy it. We're getting more of just them being them. It's good. I understand that this show is nowhere near the level of some of our other shows, but I also don't hate it. I don't want it gone quite yet. Maybe soon, but not yet. That's where I am with it.
I really like this episode.
That's about where I'm
Fucking-
at as well.
The sister part was so fucking funny to me. This poor little boy was just not mentally prepared for this.
Yeah, I just thought this episode was adorable. I think we get so much good out of this episode. Again, it's hard for me to be like pushing this show high yet, because there was episodes that I was like, I don't know. But it's finally like doing good things with its characters. It's only having like one character bit per thing. It's using them in a way that like works for the scene instead of just shoving them all in.
It also feels like they are getting closer to a position of like being in a relationship.
Yeah,
Like-
is that gonna happen? I think it's probably not, but who knows?
They're both just kind of like being themselves, but it's just like they're also both kind of like slowly just trending towards more like you're saying, like closer together. So it's really awkward for them at this stage, because like neither of them really wants to make the next step. But it's a good show. It's cute. It's definitely not the show I thought you were talking about when we said we all put it in the same spot on
Yeah.
our rankings.
Yep, it's
But,
everybody's 8th show. I said this when you weren't here, John. I would be hard pressed to slay VTuber this week,
As you should be.
because like, I mean, reasonably I can, because it's not like any of you are gonna do it.
You can't say that, Mike. Sean.
Okay, I'll test you.
I've been burned by this before.
I'll test you. I'll let you know right now I'm slaying it. Go ahead. I only win from doing this.
Fuck
I
you.
only benefit. I think you all like this show too much to do the bit.
Correct.
But I would be like I said, I would be upset if somehow VTuber went off, because I think again, there's just such a vast difference for me from where Suicide Squad falls with everything else. And it's not even that I think the show's bad. I don't like this episode, but I don't think the whole show has been horrible or bad.
Sure.
Did we have other thoughts about Pseudo Harem?
Tricky.
And our results are in. We have 1 slay on Nokotan, Shoshimin, and VTuber, 2 on Pseudo Harem, and 4 on Suicide Squad.
Or 7 suicides.
What are they? Some kind of Suicide Squad?
If
I
you
feel
did,
like this is considered homicide at this point.
yeah, if you didn't know, by the way, the episode title for this week is "So That's It, Huh? We're some kind of anime podcast." So thank you, Michael. You've tied the whole thing around. You tied the whole thing
We did
together
it.
for me. We
I
did
hate
it.
it. I hate it.
It was bound to happen. Yeah, you should go check out John on Twitch tonight, probably, maybe.
No.
The link is in the description of this video. And if you're not, and so here's the funny thing: I'm supposed to be playing D&D tomorrow. It's supposed to be my session. There's supposed to be a nice big combat we're doing. I double checked with everybody about whether or not we'd be good to play. Yesterday afternoon, one of my players goes, "I don't know." I went, "What do you mean I don't know?" He goes, "I don't know my work schedule." I went, "What do you mean you don't know your work schedule for 2 days from now? What the fuck are you doing that you don't know your work schedule?" So maybe we're playing tomorrow night. I really want to. This is a homebrew dragon fight. I can say this because the players all know what they're fighting. They're fighting a shadow dragon. It's a homebrew shadow dragon because there are very few flat shadow dragon stat blocks in 5e. There's a couple, but none of the ones are things I need or this level of difficulty. Because that party is level 16. This is going to be a very fun fight. I'm very excited for it. And then on Thursday, we're doing more Fan Delver. Lost Minds of Fan Delver. We are currently in the Neverwinter Games. We're doing tournament arc. But we're doing the cool deal. Oh, we lost Mason.
Goodbye, Mason. You know what, Sean? You gotta
Guys,
plug it before
I'm
you
sorry.
lose your
We
tail.
gotta end this podcast
here.
before the. Oh, okay. It buffered out. It buffered out.
okay.
Okay. Your webcam
prank.
froze and I got scared.
Oh,
Okay.
God,
I
it was
can't
so
make that
funny when you guys were like, "What are your thoughts on Elusive?" Then I talk. 5 seconds later, I see none of you guys have moved. I'm like, "Oh no."
shit up. Yeah, that was mine too. I was talking and then you guys were all frozen. And I'm like, oh, well, that's gone.
Yeah, but real quick, last thing, like I was saying, Neverwinter Games. What we're doing right now in it is we have cleared through 2 tiers of it. So every tier has 3 different stages of fights that just, you do one fight, you do one stage, you do the next stage, you do the next stage. There's no rest. Everything you burn, you burn. At the end of the tier, you get everything back, and you can swap spells, buy items, whatever. So we have cleared through 2 whole tiers. We are betting everything we've won off the first 2 tiers to increase our reward pool and do the 3rd tier. We know the 3rd tier is going to be in the air on a floating island, and is going to be air enemy based. And let's just say that we had one person go down in the last fight, and these progressively are supposed to be getting harder, to the point that there are 5 tiers that are supposed to scale to level 20 characters. Needless to say, we're not doing anything past tier 3, but this will be a very, very close fight, and will be lots of fun combat. Unless the dice go horribly wrong, in which case it will not be fun combat. It will be very horrible, and it will feel very bad. But yeah, so I got things cooking, John's got things cooking. There will be a Card Fight Vanguard podcast episode eventually. That's what my next 2 days are for, is to finish that editing. And maybe record a second one, you never know.
Nice.
You never know. Maybe. It depends on what we want to do. We'll talk about
Could
it.
be fun.
But that is it. Thank you for tuning in. Suicide Squad Isekai is gone. But we will talk to you next week when we have watched episode 6s of our 9 remaining shows.
That sounds right.
Yeah. We'll see you then.
See, and